All right. And we are live. The last word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis. We are back by the campfire. More looter shooter discussion with my brethren. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good this morning. Got up, felt
Mm-hmm.
decently rested. Got a late video out last night, so if you guys are coming in from YouTube, thanks for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, made a random smoothie bowl and just a weird breakfast, but got the morning started. Now we're here, and
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Luke, for giving us plenty of stuff to read yesterday. Again, lots of text, so we are good there. No, it's been the weeks continue. At some point, I feel like this has to actually slow down, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but they still have
Mm-hmm.
more that they may talk about. We've got a lot to discuss and definitely some things we can go deep on, but I'm doing pretty good. I've been
Mm-hmm.
playing Remnant actually in my
Yeah,
off
I saw you playing
moments.
that. What's that about? What's going on there?
So that is a very, very crude description is
Mm-hmm.
Dark Souls crossed with Division.
Really? Okay.
So it is a third person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you've got like the dodge roll, but it is like learning enemies moves or like
Mm-hmm.
predictable shooting patterns, things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
you have the enemies that are going to be larger and slower, and you can kind of figure out how you want to fight them. But some of them shoot stuff at you, but you've also
Mm-hmm.
got weapons. But you level up, you've got like a bunch of different traits and levels you can go through. Co-op cranks it up to a whole different level, which is bananas.
Nice.
Oh, if you go single player and then you jump in somebody else's game,
Mm-hmm.
it's like depending on the level of that person. If you're about the same, because I played with my brother yesterday a little bit, we were pretty close on damage, but I played with a buddy of mine who was like 10 times my level. And I felt like I was shooting peanuts, man. It was, man, he was putting in work, but I was struggling there. So it's very, but it is somehow this fun little intriguing game. You don't always fight the same bosses. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my friend's been through like his game fully, about
Mm-hmm.
three other people he's been through, seen different bosses.
Oh
Some he
wow.
like, still a couple that he knows he hasn't seen. There's like secrets to it in like the home base area. There's
Mm-hmm.
upgrading your character, upgrading your armor,
Mm-hmm.
different weapons. So it's a game that I somehow just like, I heard about it and I was like, oh, let's check
Mm-hmm.
it out. And then it sounded fun. And then one of my buddies like, dude, this is freaking awesome. And
Okay.
yeah, it's a fun one. Like it's kind of a perfect holdover for depending on how much time you want to put into it. But you could
Mm-hmm.
put a lot of time or even just a full playthrough will definitely give you some work. So I mean, when you
That's
get
what's
to a
up.
boss fight by
Mhm.
myself, still died like 20 times on one of them. So I mean, it feels like a Souls in like I'm trying to learn a boss. Okay, there's
Mhm.
this mechanic over here, and then this one. So
Mhm.
it's been fun.
That's what's up, man. Giving you that challenge that you need. I know you love your Souls game, so that's good.
Yeah, that little itch is nice every so often.
No doubt,
Since
no
I'm not
doubt.
gonna have enough time for like Code Vein.
Hey, oh yeah, I forgot about the games is just coming out. Shout out to Slow Mo.
Oh my
Just so
God,
much.
September.
September's insane, man. The only good thing about it right now is that we're kind of right at that period. So if you got your masterwork stuff done for the most part, you're kind of in a chill zone for the most part. Me, it's been opposite. It's like I'm in this weird zone where I shouldn't be playing as much as I am, but I'm like in this like collector's mode that I need to be ready for Shadowkeep for all scenarios.
So
So
what
it's
have
just
you
like,
been collecting? Because you got some check boxes you're trying to hit. I see.
yeah, man. I know me and you talk. I gotta finish off my masterwork stuff, but like maybe two pieces of the Shadow Throne stuff, whatever. But right now, I didn't realize how close I was to Izanami,
Yeah.
and I never really got that done finished. And then some Crucible stuff I've been working on, obviously Mountaintop, and now I might wait till
Yeah. I was like,
Tuesday.
wait till Tuesday. Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
why. If you weren't
it's
there, don't rush it. But I was already done. So.
yeah. So you got that, and yeah, just various like it's been different little like what delirium. If you get knocked all that out,
Mhm.
I put that up. Just a bunch of little things that were unfinished. Oh, right now the big thing for me is Juju Catalyst. Juju
Ah,
Catalyst, because I really want that Catalyst. And yo, Juju, have you tried Juju in PvP?
a little bit. Not many
Bro.
pulse rifles can like my go figures range. I know I love that thing, but I have tried
Mhm.
tried some bygones, tried bad juju. The range on
Right.
mine that I play with that thing is definitely good. But I mean, bad juju in the right distance.
Bro, Juju just, I don't know what it is about that archetype. It's just very meta mid to long range. It feels like a scout. And I'm really beasting with it.
We need
Like
to one on
KD's up.
one. I'll see if I can outshoot you with my go
Let's
figure.
see, let's see what it do from
Last
far.
word one on one. What's that? What's that?
What's that?
We're
You
gonna
know
have
what
to
I'm
go
saying?
play
But
on that emissary map. So I got my range.
oh yeah, that's you know that one right there. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
the king of rage right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just been doing a lot of that stuff, and I'm working on last thing's been working on. I don't know why it means working on blacksmith. It's gonna be a long way,
You gonna
but
go? You gonna go flawless the raid?
I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I
I
think I
was
can do
like,
it.
that's a couple of the titles I've never done, man. I mean, I've got 4 done. I got Chronicler
Mhm,
this week, and
mhm,
then I've got like 1 step left to do. I just need to go like finish
mhm.
Chronosaro for the
Yeah,
MMXIX. But man, those
yeah,
like
man.
flawless raids, I just don't have a consistent raid group to do it. If you do, man, go for
Yeah,
it. So that's the big piece. Like I need to
got a
work on
couple
that.
people. The key is gonna be the Sparrow run. That's the key because that is where everything could go haywire. You know what I'm saying? But the other two encounters, for the most part, once you got a competent team and at the light level, you should be all right. So yeah, I mean that's been pretty much it, man. Just knocking stuff out, getting builds together, and prepping for 2.0. That's what I've been
Yeah,
doing, man.
I was like, I've been
Oh, and a lot
actually.
of
Oh
Switch. I'm
no,
playing a lot of
go
Switch.
playing
Astral
what?
Chain is out.
Did you
Woo!
did you get it?
Bro, yo, they got Platinum's got one, man. That's some stylish. This thing feels like an anime that's come to life as a game. Like this
That's
thing
kind
is
of what I
just,
heard.
bro, it is amazing right now. Like Switch got so much going on. It's Fire Emblem, and then they got the demo for Dragon's Heroes. Like when I'm at work or I'm on the go, like I got so much to play on Switch. It's like it's ridiculous.
You're
Like
just like, I don't even know what to do.
yeah, it's like, what do I play? I'm just undecided because there's so many good things. But yeah, Astral Chain's out. I've been wanting that for a long time. I'm a huge fan of Platinum, and this game is just unique, cool, and quirky at the same time. I like it.
Nice. Yeah, I saw
Mhm,
that came out, got like I think 90 on reviews, like nines in a couple
mhm,
places. You
mhm.
had Control come out, getting 8, 5s, and 9s, which is
Yeah,
another
you
one I
got
want to try.
control.
Like if I can
Yeah.
get done with Remnant and maybe squeeze that in, but then
Hmm.
Borderlands is coming. That's on the 17th. So you got like 2.5 weeks if you're trying to squeeze some stuff
Yeah.
in before, the big boy steps into the room for a little while.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You already know. You already know.
Borderlands is definitely going to be one of those for sure that
Hmm.
takes up a lot of space for many
Hmm.
people. Destiny's servers are
Yes.
going to be like, "Coom." There's this like 2 week drop in the middle. What happened?
Prediction they'll do something sneaky that week.
There's only
They'll
so much.
just
They already have the schedule out there. So
yeah, they've been known though. Secret little drop or something. I wouldn't put it past them. We'll see.
I was like, what? It comes out on the 17th. You've got Iron Banner. You've got Mayhem, Valor. It's just all the boost in the end, I think, mostly. So they're
Yeah.
probably not going to go too heavy. But yeah, for
Hmm.
me, I finished up my comp grind. So, and I'm waiting
Yeah,
to
you
pick.
did.
I know it's stupid, just because I
Mhm.
want to record it all together. I'm literally
What?
waiting to pick up because I'm trying to get my bounties done for Crucible. So,
Mm.
because I'm gonna get Redrick's broadsword.
Oh, you going Redrix. Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
it's the damn 5 resets, but I have those
Yeah.
done. So
Nice.
those are all done. So I'm gonna have that Mountaintop
Mhm.
and Revoker
Mm.
from Shax together, just like bam, 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 pick
Bam,
up.
bam, bam. Oh, okay. I see how you lined it up.
And
Okay,
then I
okay.
looked down and I was like 88% of medals on Hush. So I finished that.
Wow. You've been more Crucible grind than me. Like you've been going hard Crucible.
Well, okay, I will be honest. Shout out
Mhm,
to I
mhm.
think the guy's name is Dusk. Bumped into
Yeah.
him playing
Mhm.
on Crucible, and I was like,
Nice.
and he went off for like a 40. I was
Woo!
like,
Sign him.
I was so
Sign
low
that
key.
man to a
Yeah, I was
contract.
so low key in comp, and I was like, and
Uh,
I think he was working on somebody else's, but yeah, I was like, dude, you're really good, and he's like, yeah, 5,500 player here. I was like, yep, makes sense.
oh,
So I ended
oh,
up
you done
jumping
got
in. I ended
yourself
up jumping in a
woo!
sidecar slash backpack and rode that one because our glory level
Nice.
was like 12 apart. So we went like
Nice.
all the way up together. There was one point he was at 2098 and I was at like
Mhm.
2090 because we had kind of gone up and down and we were like right there. And then finally we pushed over the top. So yeah, the
That's
glory.
crazy.
So I checked that box. So Mountaintop, Revoker. I had to solo grind out the rest of Revoker, but got a couple streaks and knocked that one out.
Mhm.
Comp is interesting, but I
What's
like
going on?
no, just like I enjoy comp if it's control, if it's survival, which is kind of what they're gonna have is a lot of survival, I think. But
Mhm.
man, when it's like countdown, it's just I
Yeah.
do not feel like I've got it. I suck at that mode. I'll just flat say it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm just not a fan of it. Just not a fan of it. Just mechanically, I don't know, just the pacing of it, it just never really resonated with me. And the fact that you really just don't even have to do the objective. You can just kill the other four
And
and
that's almost a better way to do it, which is
it's
that's
a
when you
bit
know there's a
yeah.
problem. Like, what's the way to
It's
do it?
almost
Like,
more effective.
don't put it on there. Yeah. So, but yeah,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
knocked out all my comp, trying to get things done. So Destiny kind of put a
Mm-hmm.
little happy bow on it by the end of August. So
Yeah.
then September's gonna be some light Destiny. Obviously, do random things like
Mm-hmm.
knockout Shatter Throne or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, kind of trying to actually give myself a breather because I
Mm-hmm.
have been grinding stuff so hard. And Solstice,
Yeah.
grind a lot of people out.
Absolutely.
Take that refresher and palate cleanser, and then get back into it in October. So.
Yeah, that's smart. That's the way to do it. So let's
But
start a little downtime.
yeah, but we're only gonna get so much of a break because we got to come back and do a little bit next week. Because next
Yeah.
week begins, we've got the community challenge on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So they say with a bit of extra time before Shadowkeep begins, we thought it'd be a good idea in the community to get in fighting shape to return to the moon. So on September 3rd, for the full week, they have community objectives that they're going to want us to do. 175,000 Wave 7 Escalation Protocol bosses killed.
Okay.
You got 300 million Hive on Mars. That shouldn't be too hard because there's a gazillion more Hive than bosses.
Yes.
Mars Nightfalls, 150,000 on Nokris, and then 100,000 of Zal.
Oh wow.
They're both going to be active next week. And then 300,000 override frequencies. That's the one that I think is going to be the
That's
most
the one.
annoying
Yeah,
because
that
we all
one.
have to go out and be like, override frequency, drive over here. Like, everybody just open one. Just do one, maybe two. Put your 2 cents in, and just hopefully if everybody puts their 2 cents in, you're good. But yeah, you're going to be, Mars is going to be a popular planet. And I
Yeah,
don't
man.
even know if it's in the Flashpoint rotation or not. It might be, but I'm sure is.
Good question. But
So
yeah, man,
that's a
little
lot of stuff
update.
I was like, that's a lot of stuff to do. And then the other piece is we got 2 rewards coming from it. One, we've got that kind of Mars weird emblem.
Yeah.
And then the other piece that may or may not have some people excited, depending on if it's too little late to the party. So if the community, this also serves as an opportunity for you to further impress Emperor Callus. If the community reaches all the above goals, Callus will unlock additional rewards for successful menagerie completions. Starting when goals are met, players will be guaranteed 2 rewards when slotting their runes and opening the chest. And an additional reward will be added each Friday for the remainder of the season. So if you do next week's, you potentially will have 2, and then it'll be 3, 4, and 5 possibly if it happens. My question is, do you even care at this point? Do you think, I guess, better way to put it, I mean, the rewards are good. I think Menagerie is one thing they're asking for, so I think most would agree on that. Do you think these rewards justify this crazy community objective, or would you like to see more than an emblem in his chests?
Yeah, I think this is just a sneaky way to get his chest like activated, get a little bit more activity there. But I mean, it's one of those things because we're at the end of a season. We're close to the end of a season, so it's like, am I gonna get crazy about this? No, but right now, I think what it is, the problem is because it was how it was set up in the beginning with the menagerie, everybody was getting everything. Everybody's kind of got everything they want, and then the majority of the base is just like these new guys that really don't know the mechanics. So I don't see that much of an engagement anymore. So they're in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot, man. I mean, I understand them not wanting to go crazy with the rewards, but they have to do something. So I think this is their way of inching towards that. That's just me.
I mean, I'm the same way. It's like I don't like emblems the way they seem to want to throw them out there all the time.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
Emblems are like a really popular award, and even for like the Destiny community, like the artists or movie of the week, or they've got Levante's fashion thing coming up. Like, I mean, there's some that you'll wear proudly and like never take them off. I know Bender managed to get in the like the Bungie bounty when they were doing the the Guardian Con stream. So he actually just got in the right game at one point, and he's got that one. He's like, I'm never taking it off, and that's cool because some of those are like ultra rare, but a lot of them are just kind of like, do I really need like? I mean, so it's just there's so many of them. I usually don't even care to go pick. Like,
I'm with you. I'm glad you said that because shout out to Guardian Radio on a little brief.
I know.
Return.
I saw them come back.
Salute. You know what I'm saying? Turk got Mark Turk and the crew, Mesa and Kato. What it was he was talking and he was just like he was upset about how Destiny currently devalues the ships almost. Like almost everything is almost in Eververse. And like back in the day, you know, us D1 guys, you know what I'm saying? Like that ship meant a lot. Like especially now, if you run around with that Whisper ship, right?
Yep.
You know you put that work in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he was saying, like, yo, he just wishes they go back to that because of stuff, you know, the ship specifically, you know what I'm saying, in Eververse, that was your trophy, that was your brag. And I wish they would kind of go that route a little bit more with these kind of things. Because I agree with you, like the emblem is like, you know what I'm saying? Some is cool, you know what I'm saying, the Prometheus land stuff, the wolves, but other than that, it's just like, you know, I could really care less. I already got my set ones that I like. And
yeah, I mean, they gave us some cool ones for just being part of those, and then you're like, gonna give me a random Mars emblem for just being there when the Mars activity happened. I'm like, not my favorite. First off, like the emblem itself alone, I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not even that. Yeah, it's not even that popping. Like it's
like
not like
I mean, it's kind of like the blurry. It's like a video that's like security footage that's like decrypted or something. It's I don't know, like it's just weird. It's all fuzzy and just kind of techie. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, the event is cool, and I like the idea they actually like are gonna have us tracking. I think the tracking they said is gonna be on Twitter. They don't have a live game place to put that. Would be cool if they did, just like if you hovered over it on the director and it would like pop the information up to see. Even if it was just like information as of, you know, the day's reset. It doesn't have to be like live per se.
Right.
Just to give us an idea. But yeah, Twitter's going to be something to watch for that one for sure.
Absolutely, man.
So that's most of what's coming. I mean, outside of that, we know Iron Banner's going on this week. Have you been touching Iron Banner much?
I have not. I will though. I'm gonna touch tomorrow. I've been doing, like I said, I've been stuck doing all this other stuff. I've been doing like a lot of build stuff, a lot of weapon rolls, little menagerie weapon roll kind of things. Been playing around, like I said, I was telling you before, with Izanami and that kind of thing. Very close to unlocking a lot of stuff. And I'm trying to just monopolize that at one time. So yeah, I'm gonna get in Banner though. Because I need what you got. I need that swarm with a raven with the spike.
Dude, I got so lucky. Like 100%. You could do 100 turn-ins, and I've seen people do plenty and not get the thing. So mine was a random bounty on my hunter. I was turning in bounties to finish my solstice armor. I was like, screw it, I need 50 bounties. Let me just click on all these and check all that. And I was like, oh, swarm. Went to go check it because, of course, everything was full with the postmaster. And I was like, wait a minute. That's I was like, and then I got field prep. I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
Field prep Swarm of the Raven, and I was just like, I'm done. I don't care. I'm done.
You're good.
I don't need anything. So that was, I mean, DPS. But that's just true luck. That's all that is. But I mean, other than that, you could turn in 250 more packages and not get anything because most of the time you do. But if you are going to turn packages in, remember, do it on a character where you haven't done the armor quest, because if you're doing the armor quest, that's in a loot pool too, as opposed to like, have at least just still the weapons and don't throw the armor in there as well. But I mean, for September, we've got update 2.5.2.2. We've got Moments of Triumph last week, an Infamy boost finishing up, another Iron Banner, and then Mayhem comes back the last week of September with Valor and Infamy boost. Just, they're boosting everything. They're throwing it all at you at this point, which is a good thing, I think, mostly because if you are working on any of those, trying to get, as you said, Delirium, you're trying to get your resets for Redrix, any of that type of stuff, they're giving you all the boosts, and Mayhem will be in there, and all those things are coming. Now, one other thing before we move on to Luke stuff, which is going to be our big topic for the day.
You already know.
Quality of life updates for Wendigo and Mountaintop. We have the official stuff. So, for those of you guys going for Wendigo, grenade launcher kills are worth 100% more per objective. Death penalty no longer exists for the final objective. Grenade launcher multi-kills grant 50% more progress. And completing playlist strikes grants a significant amount of progress towards the final objective.
Huge.
So they're really getting the, and we'll kind of get to this, but yeah, end of the seasons and end of the year, like, here's your push.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mountaintop. Now, this thing got dropped hard. These requirements are definitely in the realm of doable now. I mean, you got to get to Fabled, but these are in the realm of much, much smaller. So you got the multi-kills has been reduced from 200 to 75. So less than half. And then the calculated trajectory, 3 grenade launcher kills without dying from 100 down to 25.
That is significant.
That's a quarter, dude.
Wow, that's significant. That is really significant.
Points earned in competitive have been further increased relative to other PvP modes. Roughly 1 times for competitive, 2 times for Iron Banner, 3 times for comp. So Iron Banner is going on right now. You could get more in there if you're working on it. And then comp is, the big one. But yeah, I mean, they dropped over half off the multi-kills and a quarter of the medals. We might be seeing more of them out there. That's for...
Yeah, we gonna see a bunch of Mountaintops running around. I mean, look, you know how I felt about that quest, and something had to be done. I'll be honest, I didn't think it would be hit that much. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very curious. You as the hardcore, you as the OG paver of the way, do you feel a way about this?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
I mean, I probably should, but I really don't. Mostly because, and Luke actually mentions this at one point because he talked about his grind for Wendigo. Same thing I went through for Mountaintop. I learned to use breach load grenade launchers.
Yes.
And it was the skill that it taught me with that weapon. So now when I get Mountaintop, it's going to be a different trajectory of it, but I know how they function. I'm not just going to pull Fighting Lion out or just always use play of the game and then go get a breach load and be like, how do I function this thing?
Yep. No, absolutely. Yeah, he made a great point. I was thinking about you when he made that comment, because literally that's what you said, and how you got even more effective with the breach loaders.
Yeah, so I mean, pairing Fighting Lion, it was with militias, but you pair, Mountaintop still, when you run against it though, that thing hurts. Yeah. It'll hit you hard.
Yeah, man.
Definitely hits you hard. So it's, I don't know, it's one of those, I think those are still enough where you'll kind of get the idea. I mean, even if they were cut, even if it was, say, both of them were 50%. There's 100 multi-kills and 50 of the other ones. The multi-kills is the one that was actually the slowest. So the fact that that came down a little more than half, but then say if the calculated trajectory was like 50 and the other was 75, that might balance out, I think. I just hope it's like, I think it'll still be enough time for people to learn them. But I will say by the time I got to 200, I was like, I definitely felt a whole lot better as opposed to just like, I happen to be at 25%. Well, they're going to have calculated trajectory done by that point.
Yeah.
So it's going to come a little quicker, which is good for many people who want to grind it out, because it was an insane grind. But the learning curve is definitely a thing. So
Daniel's got a question for you in reference to your Mountaintop.
How often have you used the Mountaintop since getting it? Okay, so this is what I was saying earlier. Everything's still sitting at shacks, so I can pick it all up in just a little clip, because I'm going to go like bam, 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 and be like, Brad acquired. I just want to record a stupid little GIF. That's all.
I feel that. Yo, you got patience for holding on, for getting it and not having that excitement to touch it immediately. I give you credit for just letting it chill in the bank, man.
Yeah, so I go up and I have to hit escape on that one. Have to hit escape on Revoker. And then I'm like, I think I'm 8 bounties. I picked up a couple yesterday that I need to work on. So I'm like 8 bounties away from Redrix as well. So if I can go 1, 2, 3, my bakery is going to be full. So
be good.
But yeah, so that is just a little tweak. I saw the official stuff come out. It was on the Destiny forums, and then it fell out on Twitter and places. So that wasn't in the update, surprisingly. So I'm not sure why that wasn't in there, but they
that is interesting.
But yeah, we've made it through the initial stuff, guys. Now we're going to hit our deep dive. Destiny 2's third year. So before we even get into all the minutia, which there's a lot, what is your... for one, I didn't even see this coming.
Yeah, this was a sneak attack.
Yeah, I'm just going along, and all of a sudden, like... I didn't even see it anywhere else. It's one of those times I was like, oh, what's on the Bungie page? I was like, that's new. I was like, on a random Thursday, I'm like, that's not the 12. Is that last week's part 3? No. Well, crap, what is that? And then I dive in and I scroll through. I'm like, this is long. Just initial, like, 30,000 view. Like, what are your... Give me the gladiator, the thumb up, the thumbs down.
Okay, this is where we at with it early.
Yeah. Just I want the big view.
Tough.
Because, like, I just want the big...
Now,
oh, you got to start it here. You got to start.
You got to start it here. Yeah,
you got to start it here.
Oh, we got to start it here.
Yeah.
Okay, we start it here. Okay. So right now, here.
Seriously? Okay.
Yeah, it's here. I'm in the middle. There are things that we're gonna get into that are really promising, that I really understand, and I think are needed to happen. Then there are things that I'm not gonna say are bad, but you got that eye. Like, let me see what you're doing. Like I have that eye. Like, what are you really doing here? And I here's how I feel. I will say this, and again, I'm gonna generalize because I know we're gonna get into specifics, but this is gonna sound a little messed up, but I kind of feel that the other director's cuts,
No.
and this beautiful transparency, right? This beautiful part of me was like, "Was you set me up to add this little Trojan horse, this little thing that we're gonna talk about?" And you know what we're gonna talk about.
I was like, I think I know, but I'm like, I don't think anything in here is as bad to me as you think it is. So we'll see.
Again,
because I'm about.
Where you at? Yeah, let me ask you.
I'm about
okay.
I'm not 100%, but I'm like I'm mostly positive. I'm in that like 75, 80% range as I wiggle my thumb.
Okay, definitely. I mean, like, and there's nothing wrong. I can completely understand that. We'll get into the points when I'll tell you where I have my little eyebrow.
Oh, I'm sure we're gonna hear an earful. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that.
I've been known.
What?
Continue.
You have opinions? Have you ever listened to Iron Lord's podcast? No. Are their knees requested?
Exactly.
I saw that astral chain of you, and you're like, ahem.
Yes.
I didn't catch last week, so I don't know what the deep joke is there. But man, there's gonna be some pain coming.
Yeah, pain's coming. I'm coming for knees. They must bend the knee, but we will continue on this.
So he gave us a general overview of what we have kind of so far. We got, obviously, Rise of Iron Size expansion. We know Shadowkeep. The moon's coming. Everything's vague when he talks about it, of course. We have Armor 2.0 and overhauls to the systems. Now, the one thing we haven't touched on too much yet, and they haven't gone deep on besides what we've seen, is the evolution of difficulty systems, which I think I am excited about because we have a little more. There's the only I tweeted one thing about this. Did you see my one tweet of like my 6 words of text about this entire thing?
Yes, I did.
So that's like, I was going through that. I was like, there we go. So difficulty levels, hopefully, crossing giant fingers here. Hold on, giant fingers. Is going to matter for multiple reasons. And then they talk about new light and cross save and, playing with all your friends. So we know that stuff. And we're like, Director's Cut Part 3 left this giant elephant in the room. Hey, there's this thing about temporary content. How the hell is that going to work? Because we talked about that with, Tassie wasn't on.
Yeah, Tassie was one.
That was 2, right?
I thought we did talk about, we did talk about it with Tassie.
Yeah.
We did.
3 was,
that was Crucible. 2. 3 was Crucible, and it wasn't 2, and we had Tassie on it where it was 2. So yeah, and because I remember Tassie having concerns with certain things about that.
Yeah, and we'll get down to the artifact, and this is why I went through this yesterday, just like trying to figure out what I was going to put videos out. I put one out this morning, but I was like, oh, let me just run through this, and like, it ended up being 30 minutes, and I wasn't done. I was like, I have got to say less. I know I'm long-winded. Anybody who knows me, I'm sorry, but
no,
I for sure I was like deep diving on the artifact and what this could mean, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, crap, I still got to talk about the ranks. So, yeah, it's going to be 3 videos. I was like, Jesus, there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, how you were doing a video like is with me with the writing. I was putting something up on gaming.net, and I'm like, this was supposed to be a short assessment. And I'm like, I'm almost rewriting a TWAB right now based on the things I want to talk about. And I'm like, I can't be rewriting the TWAB. Like, it's so much to unpack. Like, this was a lot to unpack. Yeah. So let's get it, man. Let's get to it, man. Right. Lots of fun stuff to talk about.
So they have a couple things that they want to do. They want to make sure when people come into Destiny as blueberries with new light, which is going to be a big deal, they want to give the tower a place to call home. They want to make sure they actually want to stay in the game. So they're working on different ways to help all levels of players. And they have the impossible task. They have the hardcore streamers who play thousands of hours in 1 year. You have your people who get to log in and only play for like 2 hours on the weekend. And somehow they're trying to make a game for everybody, and that's next to impossible. It's impossible. You're not going to please all the audiences. Right. But I will say from what I'm seeing here, I think they're trying to give options and places and long-term grinds to go for that actually work on that. But before we even get what we're going to get to, first thing is this evolving world of Destiny. That's what my video is at about this morning.
Nice.
So
nice. I'm glad you're talking about this.
Oh, this is the first one. Is this your pain point, I wonder? Or is it later?
No.
Okay.
This is not my pain point.
Because this kind of ties into the very end with the story. So in thematic sense, I'm going to put these two together.
I got you. I see what you're doing. I'm digging it.
basically what they say is currently, and this is like the metaphor I used in my video. I'm sorry if it's terrible, but take like, okay, so you got a table and you're like, okay, here's Destiny Year 1. Okay, I'm going to put my library book of Destiny Year 1 on that one. Okay, so I've got my expansion of Osiris, set that on top. And then Warmind, set that on top. Then Tangled Shore, set that on top. Then you've got Dreaming City, set that on top. And then you start adding to these stack of books, and this thing's getting eventually just huge. There is a point and there's two reasons I think they're doing this. One, they will never acknowledge, probably officially on a TWAB, but if you just do the math on it, it's the base consoles. You have a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and Destiny 2 on PS4 is going to be 160 gigs.
Facts.
And the way their whole system works with download a patch, copy the whole thing, you need like twice the room or whatever. So however that works, if you have a 500 gigabyte console, which is really like 460 of usable space, then you go 160. And then if it copies over, or even just what's sitting there, they can't keep making the game forever big.
Exactly.
Now, people on PC are like, hey, I have a 5 terabyte hard drive. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I have all the space. They can't build for that. They have 100 million people, which is a stupidly insane number on PS4. They probably have, what is the number, like 40, 60, however many Xboxes as well. I mean, there's 150 plus PC as well. They have to still develop for the lowest common denominator.
Exactly. You got to go with the bases, right? You got to go with the biggest bases. And you also can't segment the population by doing one thing for a certain set and not the other. So, I agree.
So that's one piece that is not in here, but is definitely one they are working on addressing eternally as best as they can. Now, the other thing, which is where I got really excited, because that's just like, that's technology and that's how it works. The other way is where they decide what the seasons are going to work in the future. And I think the best word, if I can find where he used the word at least, he wants a world that has a narrative momentum.
Yes.
And I was like, I like the way he phrased that, because currently, and even Datto said it on the Vidoc interviews, he's like, there's a lot of just balls in the air right now. Because if you just go through our campaign, we had Dominus Gaul, his whole Red War campaign, and then Callus is just sitting out there in his planet-eating ship. Then we had Curse of Osiris, your boy, sitting out there in the Infinite Forest with his thumb up his butt, not doing anything.
Well, we're not going to do that.
He's out there in Infinite Forest land while we're facing nightmares coming up. Man, dude, powerful warlock, get your butt together. He's preparing us
for a future we are unaware of, right?
We're about to face the Vex without him, dude.
We don't know.
Well,
this could be the Trials Rebirth. Woo! That was you know I got to hold up foolish hope.
I know. So then we got Warmind's campaign where like we got to hear Warmind's voice, and then he's like, deuces.
Yeah.
Then we got the Uldren piece on Tangled Shore that led into the Dreaming City, but Uldren woke up.
Fire.
We have the Dreaming City, the Forever Loop, which I don't know if power level 999 is actually going to do anything, but that'd be so amazing if it does. But the Dreaming City's just stuck in purgatory, and I feel sorry for every one of those people.
Literally, bro, me and you think so much like you're like taking things I said verbatim that I wrote. Well, my take on certain
That's why
things.
we're on a podcast. I think we've done this enough.
Dude, bro, so we do the last word.
But then you've also got Ada. She came in. We don't know much history behind her. She's just chilling in the tower. You've got the Drifter, who has the emissary whole connection and stuff going on. You've got Marasov out fighting who knows what that we don't know about. So there's like 18 different stories in the air right now. And we don't have a conclusion to one of them.
Facts. And Datto brought this up beautifully
he did.
During the Shadowkeep reveal. That he literally said it was like all these unanswered. But I think he used the word he used was thread, right? Like it's just all these threads,
and they're just all like this right now. It's just a mess.
Yeah, they're cool individual threads, but it's like, can we get some continuity? And what we're about to talk about was just it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and one of the rare moments we've actually had continuity, and that's why that's why Taken King's expansion was a big deal, because we built on a previous expansion.
Facts.
We built on Crota, Oryx, his son. You pissed him off. He came in, just wipes out half of like that whole area. So when things build in this game, they're awesome. As opposed to like Rise of Iron was cool, but that story was so just like, here's all of Destiny, and here's this like little box on the side where you do this old stuff.
Yeah.
So like those odd segments, and they are trying to get away from that. So I will say what the future or what he said this past year could have been like.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to let you and then I'm going to let you read through what we got coming because I've been talking a lot. So I've looked through it enough. I don't even have to look.
Go ahead, talk about it.
So I want everybody to picture in their mind that this past season pass. So we finish up the Forsaken campaign. We're working on the Dreaming City. It's late November. This is how they would like these to go in the future, by the way. So picture this as being a hopeful possibility. About December 1st, a little note shows up in your postmaster saying, hey, be in the tower December 4th, 10:15. You're like, all right, what's going on? Everybody's in the tower. The tower instances take forever to load because everybody's going in, but everybody's sitting in there waiting, like, be in the tower waiting. All right, we're all sitting here waiting. Crazy banana ship pulls up, Ada 1, transmats off of it. She just casually walks through the tower, down into where the Black Armory is now, opens the door. We go in there. She unpacks her stuff, and she sends us off on missions. We start unlocking the forges, and that's how the season begins. She comes in. She unlocks it. Cool. As we do more things throughout the season, we unlock the forges. The look of the Black Armory in the tower changes. We start to have more stuff in there. We start to have more weapons shown. We have more, things displayed behind her. Also, during this, we'll get a random cinematic somewhere, like her and the Drifter have this little spat. They're talking to each other. In the end of the cinematic, you see the Drifter like zoom in and kind of eye some schematics. Be like, in his head, he's like, man, that weapon looks awesome. How do I get that?
Scheme it.
So yeah, he's thinking. And then, working through Ada's season, maybe we're in the last month and, we finally got everything unlocked. And the Drifter's like, hey, you dredgens over there. Just the people who have earned dredgen title first. Come here. Start working on this stuff for me. I was like, I got some tasks for you. We got to build up some supplies. We got some stuff to do. And then, like, as we get towards the end of the season, the last 2 weeks, you start to notice the Black Armory whole area where it is starts emptying out. You see, like, boxes. And then maybe you load in the next week and some of that stuff is out of there. It's getting really empty. And then that last day, that thing is empty, completely empty. She walks out and kind of forces you out. And then she shuts the door behind her. She gets back on her ship and she leaves. And then you notice that you couldn't find the schematics like the last couple of weeks. Where the hell were they? Where the hell were they? And finally you stop by Banshee and he's by the way, Ada left me these schematics. I'm going to have these in my weekly rotation. So they're going to come through. And then Drifter's already got you working on his stuff and we're in the midst of his as we go. So, oh yeah, by the way,
What's
in
up?
the hypothetical other version, Luke threw so much shade at Dado, I about fell out of my chair because he's like,
what part?
oh, and he's like, yeah, in an alternate universe where Dado got first in the raid, and I was like, oh my god,
how did I miss that? Oh, the
my
shot
God.
was there. He took the shot. Damn.
oh, I felt bad. I was like 2402 forever, but damn.
Wow.
But yeah. So take that image of the story. Ada coming in, having the cinematic reveal, having the tower look change, working on the forges. Those are her activities that she has. So we're like working on the forges. Then she gets up and leaves. We don't go to the forges anymore. They are no longer an activity, but now we've got the Drifter stuff. Now, I know not everybody loved the Drifter, but just imagine it went from Ada to Callus, for example. But either way, that is what they would like to get to.
Right.
So what I want you to do, now where it says the world of Destiny 2 changes every season, let us know what we're going to expect. Mostly I'm talking about paragraph 2 and then that next line.
Damn, you that's where I was starting to. You on it, man. You on it.
Season of the Undying, it's all yours.
Yeah, man. So portal to the Black Garden that was open as a part of Jacket Quest has awoken the Vex, and they are now pouring out across the surface of the moon, working with Ikora. Players will, parentheses, do some stuff, go somewhere, fight some things, and solve a problem, aka redacted. By the end of the season, the portals will close, the world state will change, and the seasonal activity connected to it will go away. Yet something remains. This will just be in time for Redacted to kick off the start of season 9. For the first time, we get the name Season of Dawn. Interesting. Interesting. Oh,
I have nowhere to go with Season of Dawn, by the way.
Zero. I actually didn't even try. I was like, I don't even know what. Everyone who plays Destiny will now be able to see how the world is different and changing during the season. Those with the season pass will be able to play a seasonal match-made activity within the Black Garden for that extra level of sweet gear. This is similar to the old annual pass access, but the goal is that everyone will be involved in how the world changes. And at the end of the season, your collective actions will have caused the world state to change, and the seasonal activity connected to those events will go away. Now, this is my paragraph right here.
All right.
Doing this allows us to evolve the world, but potentially, narratively, but potentially physically as well. It is not possible to keep Destiny frozen in place to allow all activities to live forever while also changing the world in meaningful ways. This strategy lets our team be more agile and innovative. We believe that Destiny will grow even better when the world state can change, and that the best Destiny stories are the ones where, yeah, you had to be here when, you know what I'm saying? So then he goes on, he talks about events and activity in the world evolving, weapons critical to the meta will not be locked in each season for new players or for players who missed that season. Legendaries and exotics you need to stay competitive will be re-earnable in the future, although not always immediately after the season ends. We'll be talking more about that later. This is one where the new seasonal model, we expect our plans to evolve across the seasons to meet the needs of the Destiny community. And then he goes on about, whatever your perfect guardian is, yada, yada, yada. But this was a lot to unpack.
So I'm going to go in a reverse order here from kind of the bottom up.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm going to leap, actually. All over the place, as usual.
Let's do it.
So there's not a lot of games that have been live for an extended period of time where they actually want to change the world. Something that lasts long enough where it's going to matter. World of Warcraft is the prime example. And this is where some of these game directors come from. This is their history in gaming. And I went through the same thing. Classic is back out there now. You started in WoW Classic, you have 2 giant ass continents. Sorry, language, my bad.
That's all good.
That's me. I gotta bleep myself. But you have 2 giant continents. And then when they had 2 expansions, you had Cataclysm, which added a separate world that you'd go through the portal for. You had Wrath of the Lich King, which was the northern frozen area up top. And they keep tacking stuff on. Same place we're in Destiny. And then what happened?
Right.
Cataclysm just absolutely came through and just destroyed like the 2 main continents. You had basically a fire valley go straight down the middle of some zones. Different activities were no longer there. Zones looked differently. So you had physical world changes to like your main continents that you were used to. Gameplay changed. There was different invasion. These things were different places. All this stuff went on because they were able to completely revamp the entire world. Now, those continents were a hell of a lot bigger than Destiny, but lower resolution, stuff like that. But that's still a hell of a lot of work that they did.
Absolutely.
But they completely changed the landscape of your base game. And that's what they talk about specifically when they say they allows us to evolve the world narratively, which we just got done talking about with the story, but also physically. If you ever have a point where what if something happens on Earth and, the ship on Nessus of Kalos' ship gets attacked and then some piece of it falls into it. Now there's a crater of part of the Nessus ship sitting in the European Dead Zone.
Fire.
So they have ways to change up the planets, the landscapes, and it gives them a reason to do so. So, I mean, that type of stuff is really, really exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's my first piece. Now you pick something.
I mean, no, dude. You own it. You own it because at the end of the day, this is what excites me. You know what I'm saying? And this was I always felt was the flaw initially with the first season content. With like literally reading hearing you read what he said about how Black Armory could have been.
Yes.
Right. Remember what my main issues was? Who is this chick?
Yeah.
Why is she just in the tower? Yeah. How nobody ain't noticed, was there. Like it was just so convoluted because we all agreed we felt Black Armory, the content was solid for the most part, and it was a lot to do. Maybe grindy, too grindy, but it was a lot to do. The thing always came down to narratively, it just didn't connect. There was a disconnect we didn't feel. Could you imagine if she flew in for the tower, transmat, it's a community event, everybody's walking to see where she is, she actually goes to that section of the tower, opens it up, you're like, okay, now I'm connected, right? Yep. So this is dope. And I think this whole theory of seasons bleeding into other seasons, right? So you're setting up this nice narrative continuity that they sorely need. sorely. You're about to jump, but I can see.
No, no,
But
no. I'm letting you have it
yeah,
because I've been talking a
yeah.
lot.
It's like they sorely need that because that really it gives you that connection. And then yeah, I love this whole thing about world states and things evolving, and then we'll get to the other part that I know a lot of people are worried about, which is events ending, right? And things going away. And at first, excuse me, like Tassie, we were a little nervous, like I don't know, we still got to see how it's implemented. And the main thing, though, I think is just like it has to be that way. In my opinion, it has to be that way because it's like you said, E, and like Luke said, at some point, the Dreaming City cannot stay cursed forever. Like we can't go to the Dream, and every day it's like what I'm saying, and there's other things going on. You know what I'm saying? So again, the key, the issue, I really wrote this entire sentence right here when I wrote this. The key for them is going to be they're going to have only tough spot they're going to have is if it's a beloved event like a menagerie. You know what I'm saying? If it's a really loved thing, and now narratively you got to move on, right? I feel that in some way they've got to bring an iteration of it for it, and I think that has to happen for the rest of the game and the community to feel satisfied. I think if they snatch away, I mean, this is not going to apply to like raids or anything like that. I don't think so. But I think at some point, if they take away stuff, they have to have a similar substitute that people are going to be like, okay, this is like version 2.0 of Menagerie. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that so that people don't get too upset. But it has to get done. Physically, it has to get done. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, the constraints of physical systems and consoles, the lowest common denominator, they just can't keep adding. You're not going to have anything left on the map. Like it's just going to be too much. And then the second thing was obviously from a storyline perspective, I think it's due. I'm willing to trust them on this. For those who are nervous, I'm willing to trust them. But that was what was your feel? That was your overall feeling when you read this part? You muted. Your overall feeling is muted.
No. Your overall feeling is I'm speechless over here. I'm speechless.
He just lost his time.
I'm like, go. No, honestly, this is exciting because I mean he said it in one of I forget which part. The 50th time you've gone to the Dreaming City is not the same as those first couple special times you see it. Mm-hmm. And as I said in my video, as we both make our own content, we're referring it. But I'm just like, I think it was mostly brought to a head when everybody was trying to figure out in 6 hours, how do we grind for Crown of Sorrow? What is all this list of stuff we have to do? Go back to the Dreaming City. We're like, again, do the mission. Do the, first piece of the Shattered Throne. Then you go do your weekly missions. Then you go do your daily missions. All of this crap we have to do. But why am I still going back to the Dreaming City for Crown of Sorrow? I mean, that's a big question of story. I mean, flashpoints rotating through, that's fine. I hope they do more with that. That they could do a lot of things with flashpoints to make those cooler. So hopefully at some point they do.
Yeah. And I got to defend my boy real quick. Just to cut you 1 second. That's what killed Osiris too. Like Curve Osiris got killed by the lack of narrative continuity. Like it made no sense. Okay, he's here.
Mercury
didn't help. Mercury didn't help. The play space. And then even one of the biggest I feel offenses that was egregious is also the way. Don't get me wrong. Not disrespecting Eater of Worlds as a raid. But continuity-wise, why did we have to go back to the Leviathan, right? They needed to explain that whole bit, and it just disconnected. Like I said, he was never given this type of treatment. Now, if Luke Smith, how he reimagined Black Armory, if Osiris had that treatment, bro, it's no doubt in my mind, you know what I'm saying, that it would be well-received, beloved. People would go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's still shout out to my man coming back. But at the end of the day, this is what we're talking about. And they have to do that. But continue, like you were saying.
Where was I?
I cut you. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Basically, you were just talking about like, that whole continuity thing and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, Dreaming City has to get resolved hopefully at some point. I feel sorry for them if it doesn't, because they're just stuck in purgatory.
Yeah.
But just the idea of an evolution, but it's also going to keep things fresh. It's going to help keep us going to, hey, do you have to go back to the Dreaming City? No, you don't, because you can't. What if I kind of like the Dreaming City? Well, it's fine. And this actually, when we get to the artifact, is a discussion more of what the temporary content is. Because they say the part of the season pass is the seasonal match-made activity within the Black Garden. Has this, the sweet gear.
Yes, sir.
That's the seasonal match-made activity that will be going away. So my question goes into
what's up?
The Nightmare Hunt mods. Because it's a seasonal artifact.
Right.
But the big thing here, at least when you look at all of this, is the fact that they are setting the precedent up front. They're letting us know with the artifact and the builds that we're going to get. They're letting us know this content we're going to get is not lasting forever. Now, I don't know how the developers feel about that. Hey, I made this awesome play space, and you get to play it for 10 weeks. So that kind of goes back into the thing we talked about last week or the week before. What level is this content? How high quality is this content as it is going to be temporary?
Right. No, that's a good question. That's a good question. I think they've got to be they're gonna have to put their hats on as far as juggling that level of engagement and enjoyment for something that will go. I will say this. I mean, because we know Bungie, they tend to be on the number side of things. You know what I'm saying? And analytically, they track and stuff. I think it's going to start off initially with the lowest performing content. Like the lowest performing. I don't know if it's Forge. I don't know what it. I mean, Reckoning. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Reckoning. Oh, well, then again, who knows what's going to happen with Gamma Prime and
everything
Gambit.
Those are both staying through year 3.
Right.
But I think what's in the game currently is going to be there. I think it's what we get in the future is what's going to at least evolve. Maybe like next September they'll be like, hey, by the way, this crap's leaving or something.
Yeah.
But
and that's fine. It's going to be curious to see what's the determining factor. Is it going to be all just because it's narrative, right? Is it going to be, we're looking at our player population and, you know what? They're not really doing forges anymore. And since 750 drop and they can't go farm.
Yeah, go farm while you can, guys. You got a month.
Go get your farm on, baby. Get your farm on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it's going to be a combination of those things. That's just my guess. Narrative loops, things that have to happen, that have to conclude, like we talked about, Dreaming City stuff, curse stuff, and then also, other little things that's going on too. So,
yeah. I mean, the fact that the world is going to change is cool. The fact that that's where they want to go is cool. And also the big elephant in the room that everybody's going to be scared about. What about these cool weapons? You'll be able to get them. Now, you'll be able to get them later, but you will be able to get them eventually if you keep playing Destiny.
Right.
So,
how do you feel about the 6-month implied thing that I've been hearing from Luke and there's other people?
Max of 6 months?
Yeah.
I mean,
so let's just say, hypothetically, I'm trying to think of you. See, it's gonna be hard for you because you're doing a cruise. I'm trying to think of what. Okay, I got one for you now. Boom, this is it. Bam. 0 hour. Right? Let's just say
it's a separate thing.
True, but
it's not a seasonal piece. It's not a seasonal
piece. But
it's
included in content, though, right? Would you consider it?
But like everybody got to do it.
Okay. So you don't consider like Shattered Throne, that kind of stuff? You consider that just like a bonus?
Shattered Throne's a dungeon. That's its own animal. The seasonal content, I think, that the content itself that would leave is going to be mostly what comes from the Vex activity. So it's really what would be the forges. I mean, take Hammerhead, take Blast Furnace. Those are your seasonal comparison.
Okay.
In my mind. And those are damn good guns. So then if you go back to where, hey, you have 3 months to earn those. She has her bounties that you can choose to work on. Say you don't get your roll. And then maybe there's one of those at Banshee every week. It's definitely going to be a longer grind to get them after the season, but they're not totally. You could probably be able to get a gun, but your god roll is definitely going to be harder to grind afterwards.
I guess I still confuse you. You're probably right with the way they probably handle it, just like that. I guess I am confused with something like Shattered Throne because, again, when I think Shattered Throne, I think Ascendant Realm. I think kind of, again, I wish we had Bye for Mylan right now, you know what I'm saying, to really understand lore-wise Shattered Throne, right? But I always connect it with that whole Dreaming City curse bit. And maybe I'm off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like in theory, if let's say
Oh
they
no,
work
yeah. I
with
mean,
that
okay,
lore.
so that's different. I was going more on like the seasonal basis. If at
Yeah.
some point they do like wrap Dreaming City's rotation.
Right. That's what I'm going with you because I know the Shattered Throne's your heart, right? And let's just say, and we know what's it, Wish Ender comes from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that now goes, right? Because this curse is over, they're moving on, Aldrin's back, or she's doing, and then something else is happening, right?
Yep.
My question to you is how will you feel that you can't do Shattered Throne anymore? Or is it one of the situations where I did everything I had to do? It was hot while it lasted. Like you said, it was. You should have been there when it was. How are you? That is your
Kind of
heart.
more that. I mean, honestly, at this point, even as it's up this week, I haven't just run back into it. Like, I've done it enough. I've spent enough time fighting that damn ogre to know how he works and figure out, like, I've done the solo run.
Put me in the backpack, baby. wait for the call. Continue.
I was like, but I've gone through it enough and figured out the fight and challenged myself. It's like, that's why it's hard for me to go back and play something like Dark Souls multiple times without, like, I would like to go back and play Bloodborne at some point because I think it's been long enough that would be fairly fresh. But there's still a point where you kind of take the initial awe from any of those pieces. And that's why going back to the Dreaming City 50 times or going back to Shattered Throne 10 times is still something we don't always need to do. Now, it's cool like to be able to do Wish Ender and give some bigger stuff like dungeons some time. So, I mean, having Dreaming City be here for 2 years is probably going to be plenty. Or maybe if they wrap it up, say, in Season 10, who knows? They're like, hey, we're going back to the Dreaming City on Season 10. Aldrin woke his butt up. Now he and Petra are talking. There's this little place we go visit him. You guys have just knocked out Dylan Karu. She's cool. Then at that point, you've had a year and a half. If you didn't play it in that time,
fair enough.
Maybe it's, and that's because I guess I'm of a different mindset of some, and you might be the same as me.
Right.
But I mean, most games I've played, as you get a new expansion, as you get a new piece of content, as you move forward in the game, you don't keep dragging this like Santa-sized backpack of crap behind you. And I know my vault is not a good example of that. But the idea is you're not always like, I don't want to use Gjallarhorn for 10 years, and they've said that. I did not want it to come in, and I still don't want it to come in. So I want the game to evolve and see new things and see fresh stuff. So the more...
No, definitely.
So I'm with that.
Yeah. No, I was just curious because like I said, I know how beloved that is for you. So I was just curious to hear that.
Well, hopefully the new dungeon keeps me occupied.
There you go. I think like I said, it's the tough call, but I think it's the right call. I think it's the call that has to happen. I think because and then also let's be real, like when you conclude, it feels more real. It feels like this is truly a living world where there is a beginning and a conclusion to events, right? Because I know for me personally, there's one reason I want it to end is Aldrin. I want to know, what's going to happen with him. Where's his mindset? What's going on with that? Like it brings Destiny back to that narrative, cool story thing that, we know they got this tremendous lore. And I think they can tap in with that. So yeah, I'm with you. It'll be tough for certain things. I'm not gonna lie, but like you said, a year or two, if you come on, if you ain't rock out at this point, then it's on you.
And then maybe at that point, Wish Ender's just in the exotic loot pool.
Yes, that was my next point. You stole it. Yep.
So yeah, I mean that's where I would see a lot of that stuff headed at some point. Some of the planets are still going to be there, but you have Dreaming City that is primed for something like this, whether it's a season this year, whether something happens with Aldrin and Mara in year 4, who knows? But at some point, that place needs to have something happen. Otherwise, it's just the elephant in a dress in the corner that's just like sucks. And it sucks to be that elephant. So
facts. What else we got?
This all leads into the other piece of temporary content. Well, 2 pieces of temporary things. One, our seasonal artifact.
Oh, here you go. He's been waiting for this one. He's been waiting. He done broke it down. He done looked at every little mods back and forth. Here we go. Look at that. He's like, yep. I know this is all you, right? Let me hear that.
So what they said is they wanted to make sure they give us more transparency, more predictability. There's still going to be RNG in there, though. They want to give us some direct paths for things, which they're working on. And they're still going to have RNG drops in the games and rolls and stats. That's a whole different exciting line for me. All of those things they want to get in there. So they're introducing 2 new things, 2 seasons on top of what you normally get. Don't be like, hey, well, I'm getting this stuff. I'm not getting my normal activities and this with the season. You're still going to get your narrative, potentially a better one than before. You're still going to get your activities, just like Forge. Just something is going to be part of that season. So that type of stuff is still going to be there. They're just giving you more in case we don't have enough. And the artifact is the new thing. So the artifact is going to be free for every single player. New light, old, new, Shadowkeep, doesn't matter. Everyone gets the artifact. Now, the artifact is going to be a seasonal artifact, as we know. Couple things about it. You're going to have mods that you unlock as you level up the artifact. And then you're also going to have a power boost level as you get experience and levels throughout the season. Now, it's a seasonal account-wide, as they continue to learn, because that's a huge thing, power boost. And they said they're both excited and a little terrified where players manage to get their power levels to. So I want right now, we know 960 is the armor cap from Pinnacle Activities. How high do you think your glads, your streamers, your people who play day to day are going to get that artifact from doing their bounties and 6 million Crucible matches? And where do you think those things are going to end up?
It's going to get crazy. I mean, it's all dependent on how post max level light is. You know what I'm saying? Like how that whole XP, transference happens. If it still remains at normal level to you reaching, that cap, I could see the hardcore getting crazy with it. So now it just comes down to how do you balance that hardcore, or do you just leave it as status quo and let them, run crazy with all this power? So it'll be interesting. I am of the mindset where it's like, I think this is still, it's an experimental phase, but I still think it's a good thing to reward the hardcore community by just playing, that they have this option with these artifacts to keep leveling and making crazy builds that they can get crazy with. Where are you at it? Because you are on this list of the hardcore, the hardest core. Bruh, you on that list. I see the miles. You putting in that work. Let's go.
So for me, I'm excited about multiple things. One, when you jump on, which kind of ties into the seasonal ranks later, you're able to make progress towards something. Even if it's just like, hey, I want to do a couple Gambit matches, I want to do a few Crucible matches just to burn off some steam, whatever. Even though Crucible's sometimes sweaty. But still, you just want to go shoot some stuff. Cool. It gives you, it's one of multiple reasons to literally just go shoot some stuff. Hey, I'm going to go knock out the Flashpoint. There's a reason. I haven't cared about the Flashpoint in a while. Now there's always a reason to go do whatever you want. So that's big for this and the season ranks, which we'll get to. But also for me, again, I have more questions than answers.
What's the question?
No, I'll just kind of go through my whole spiel.
Let's get it.
All right, so there's a couple things the temporary nature of the artifacts lets them do. The artifacts not being here forever lets them swing a little bit farther into the power curve for our Guardians. Make us have some more powerful builds. Prime example. The heavy brick finisher. Okay, so say you get somebody who gets like raid mods or raid armor. They have like stupid level intellect. They have like 100 intellect. So they're like tier 10 on intellect recharge. So the super's coming back fast. Okay, you got your super all the time. All right, you put that heavy finisher on. You give us heavy ammo all the time. That's your role. You're giving us heavy. But it takes half the super. But if they're out there like picking up orbs and doing other things and giving heavy ammo and they've got masterwork weapons, that heavy's popping constantly. Now that sounds really cool because everybody's like, hey, heavy, having a controllable way to get it. But what if we get to a point where you literally are going through a raid run and you're like in a boss room and there's like 50 heavy bricks on the ground nobody can pick up? There may be a point where it's almost, and this is a good thing though, they get to experiment now and they set the precedent on day one. This lasts for 3 months, or in this one, 10 weeks. So whether this is broken, OP, or not, you know it's not going to last. And you're like, cool, this heavy finisher build is awesome. Sweet. I get to enjoy it for a while. I know at some point it's going to go away. It's like, it may suck that it's going away. Maybe the next season's going to be cool too. Who knows? And they said if some mods are really cool, they may bring them back in other ways.
Yeah, they did say that. Yeah.
So it's a temporary way for them to try stuff, swing a little harder into the PvE type things. That is what a lot of people want. Like Crucible, its own thing. PvP, come on, I want my crazy guns. And it's a way for them to push that envelope farther. But also have the reference for them, whereas they state, here, I'll just read his last line in one of these paragraphs. We wanted to figure out if we could have a system that allows players to create build-altering powers, yet not need to commit indefinitely to whatever they have made and make sure it lives on forever. Right. They want to give you new builds, but they don't want to have that new build be in their combat system forever.
Right.
They want to give their self variety, but they also want to have a little more fun with some of these things. They want to make sure you can feel a little bit of power in different ways or have different purposes and builds, which is, for me, really exciting. So, I mean, that's... Yeah. So what I don't know if I talked about this last week before, but I've said it in my stuff. The second one on the 5th column, it's the little void grenade one. The possible build that you can do with that for especially like a Titan, for example, or a Hunter's the same way, but a Titan, Ward of Dawn, Weapons of Light. You only get one buff on your character. Whether it's Well of Radiance, Weapons of Light, doesn't matter. You get that.
Right.
The enemy also gets one debuff.
Right.
So you take a Titan, guess what? He wants to be a support build. So he's going to spec Intellect and Discipline, doesn't give a damn about anything else. Discipline is for the Void Grenades. That new mod allows your Void Grenades to weaken the enemy. Now, we don't know how much, but even if it's a debuff on an enemy, it's still weaker. Yes. He also has his super up more frequently because he spec'd Intellect, and he has Ward of Dawn with Weapons of Light. So now he's buffed you. You have one character in potentially, say, a raid team of 6, one character doing the debuff and the buff for your entire party, while 5 other people are doing their damage.
Right.
Nobody has to run well. This person's not over here doing tether. Everybody can spec for Golden Guns, Celestials, and just go absolute bananas while one person handles the support setup.
No, I feel that.
That has potential in my mind. Now, maybe I'm crazy, but like that type of build is something really cool. But say, what if the grenade thing they put in there, what if it weakens the enemy too much? Or they figure out people find ways to like, I'm going to throw 60 grenades. Now, it's not a solar grenade, so Sunbracers wouldn't do anything there because I already thought about that.
Right.
But you have possibility of people making grenades where energy's coming back. People have ashes to assets or all those other mods they can finally smash together. And it's going to potentially give you something broken.
Yeah. But
here's the thing. It's not going to stay there forever. So even if it is, and maybe you guys are smoking this raid boss, well, guess what? Guess what? Next season, all gone.
Right.
So you cannot depend on that stuff, and it lets them play, and I like that.
I was just about to say that. This to me is a form of sandbox playing that, we've been on them. Let's be honest, right? We've been on them about, how long it takes and stuff like that. And I think this is a way that they get to communicate to us and we communicate back with them through in-game play with these artifacts. And we are going to find things that are definitely going to be crazy. We are going to find builds, you know what I'm saying, are really going to be synergistic. And,
nice words.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you. But yeah, man. So it's like we're gonna find those things. And what's gonna happen is, they're gonna analyze it. They'll take the data, and then obviously it's a fresh start next season, kind of thing. So ultimately, I like it. I mean, I like it. The only question I have, is just not even about the builds. To me, the builds that's what comes with the territory of, Crucible scientist guys, PvE, that people are going to find things. The question I have is just now with that power, right? Like with that extra artifact power, how is that handled when those people go into a raid or maybe, content or whatever, or, how is that handled in like Iron Banner? Right, because let's just say
my assumption has to be anything competitive. It doesn't count. It's only going to go off gear score, and that has to be.
They have to be explicitly clear. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, one thing we realize Destiny players will find something. Once they find, they go abuse it.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's really it. But I mean, is that something I'm like losing sleep over? No. But I think this artifact thing could be really cool. I think it can be, man.
So the other question this raises is the fact that it's temporary. If you
Mm-hmm.
look in the second column on the artifact, every one of those mods is related to nightmare hunts.
Yes.
Now, maybe they're related to Vex as well. I don't know. But they're for sure related to the nightmare hunts because it said it on the damn map. Top two are barrier. Middle two are overload. And the bottom one I still don't know. But it's the mods that are for basically the debuffs or challenges we're going to face in higher difficulties in the nightmare hunts.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the big question. Everybody thought the nightmare hunts were going to be your temporary activity. But if they say the seasonal activity, which is that little turquoise bubble on the bottom left corner of the moon map that we saw, that's going to be your match-made Vex activity that will be going away. So, two questions. One, is every artifact going to have a second column of mods and they're just going to steer you to different weapons as we go through the year? Because Shadowkeep is its own thing. You buy a Shadowkeep, that stuff doesn't go away. I think the other side is if all those weapons right now, and maybe they just want to steer us to playstyles. Maybe in the nightmare hunts, they're like auto rifles, submachine guns, hand cannons, and bows. Cool. Next season, pulse rifles, scout rifles, fusions, and snipers. Next season, breach load grenade. Like they're gonna steer the, like if you want to be optimal in these settings, the idea is you're probably gonna want to use what works with these mods. So if I'm going in with a pulse rifle, yet auto rifles get these mods and I can't use them, I'm shooting myself in the foot.
Right.
So that was my question is like, is every artifact going to have Shadowkeep mods on it? And at what point do the Shadowkeep nightmare hunts end? Or is Shadowkeep going to have the nightmare hunts? We go down, Eris wakes her crap up. We go in, we fight these nightmares. Just as we push the Vex back in their portal, do we, like, end the source of the nightmares? And is that how they progress it?
I'm leaning towards that. I think it's going to be very, very content specific, like giving you buffs and stuff towards activities that's based in that season and things of that nature. I completely agree that they are going to be pushing their meta narrative, someone will call it, like, which is, let's be honest, there's times us as the Destiny community, we get a little arrogant, we get stuck in our ways with best time to kill, most effective, weapons to melt bosses, yada yada yada.
Reclusive
and
PD.
Then there you go. So I think this is their way to say, hey, this stuff that you've been not playing, it's not bad. It's actually very good if you actually give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? Again, breach loaded, grenade launches, like you learn quite well. You know what I'm saying? That there's a level of effectiveness. So I think they are going to be pushing certain meta narratives with this to kind of nudge us in that direction to give things a shot. And I can completely see that. That's what I'm going. What are you thinking? Ultimately?
I mean, that's a big thing because what do we not use? I mean, hand cannons are on here. We know they have 70,000 hand cannons a game. That's not news. But when it comes to auto rifles and submachine guns, especially in a PvE setting besides Recluse, but with these mods, Recluse is going to be a beast. They're trying to say, hey, auto rifles. Hopefully, for one, they buff them because they do need them, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But also it's saying this build that you have for these nightmare hunts, if they do stay around, next season you got to find a new set of weapons to fight these with. Right. So if the nightmare hunts don't go away and they stay around for a while, they're going to be like, hey, these nightmare hunts are still here. They're with powerful gear. But all that crap you were using before, not going to work.
Yep.
So it's going to kind of change up. And also as this is like, hey, the seasonal artifact, you got to get to that next tier. It may take a little while to get there, but maybe day one you can't quite get to the nightmare hunt mods you want, so you can't just go crack on like the highest difficulty on day one. They're gonna make the seasons last a little bit longer as well.
That's what I was just. Yep, you on it. That's literally. This is literally game design trickery, but in a cool way. In a cool way. It's like they're not like forcing us, but they're like, hey, if you want these cool perks, these extra buff, hey, maybe you need to dust off that Lydia fusing rifle that you ain't been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it seems to me.
How you doing?
How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Bring it out, take it on a date. Bring out your crooked fang, bring out all that stuff
that one.
you know what I'm saying, that you ain't really been using, and see what's up, get them edge transits ready. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be some stuff that we're gonna be like, really? All right. And then you'll see
I want them to ever do like a like in Diablo did the secret cow level. I need them to make I need them to make a boss, like a mechanical Siva boss made of edge transits.
Oh my god! like the image that went on the
it was weird like a robot, walking robot thing made of edge transits of his legs and arms. I would lose my mind.
Hilarious.
That would be an amazing Easter egg for those who were there during like, oh my god. So yeah, I mean you've got very specific mods that go for an activity, but they're separate from the season in a way.
Yes.
So that's why I wonder if the artifact is always going to just steer what you're going to use in there. But the other thing, you've also got this middle tier. And they're like, hey, do you want fast reload for cheap? Enhanced hand cannon reloader costing 1 energy as opposed to 6 is massive.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah, I mean, you got submachine guns at 1. That one may not be as much. Bows is 1. Maybe you just everything feels like hush now. Fusion rifles and then auto rifles. But all of enhanced hand cannon reload speed being 1. Pick your playstyle. But guess what? Next season, bet none of those are going to be on there. They're all gone.
Facts. Agreed.
So you've got the ability for them to, for one, with the heavy stuff, maybe there's the void grenade build. Maybe it's the heavy finishers to be like, hey, this is cool. Okay, this is what we want the meta to be. We've got some cool weapons coming out. Let's steer you to those. That hand cannon thing with the hand cannon reloader and the new exotic that's coming.
Oh yeah,
snipey snipe hand cannon.
Scope jump,
yeah. That's gonna be powerful. That's gonna, and that might be a way to be like, oh, there's also bows listed in here. There's a bow as well. Guess what?
Yes.
You're gonna be using those exotics, but you have a nice reason to use them as well.
Yeah. Ain't that bow with Eris's real name or something? Ariana, isn't her name Ariana? Who's Ariana?
I don't know. I saw the name and I have no reference to who that is.
I remember hearing her say it, or maybe it's one of her original raid teams that went slaughtered down there in Crota. I remember her. It was one mission on where you beat the mission and she's naming the names of the crew, I believe, that she was with. And I remember her saying that name. That's why I'm like, that name sounds so familiar, that Ariana's vow. You know what I'm saying? I believe that's part of the what you call it. But yeah, man. I'm excited to see how these things that they're gonna reward us with also correlate with what is actually buffed mod wise. I mean, that's available mod wise to accelerate some.
Yeah. So I think all of this generally is a good thing. The artifact power bonus level is going to be kind of cool. Lets them experiment with crazy stuff a little more, as opposed to it's got to be in this little balanced box. Maybe not. And they can honestly say, hey, this thing, I mean, finishers, those are only PvE. And then the grenade mods weaken an enemy. It's probably not going to do that much in Crucible. It might be, but if you hurt them with a grenade, they're going to die fast anyway. So most of those aren't going to be things that change the way you play PvP, but they will change the way you play PvE, which is, I think, where they are trying to also steer differences, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I had more to say about that, but we have also said a lot. But I mean, it's going to be a temporary thing. They're going to go at the end of the season. We'll get something new, and we'll see what's next. Season of the Dawn could have, who knows? We'll just have a little ray of sunshine for our artifact.
You hilarious right now.
But I guess this has to be where your big question mark is. The final piece of seasonal progression that they're adding on top of everything else, in case we don't have enough to do in this crazy game. They're adding something called seasonal ranks, aka what do you want to call this thing?
Battlepass.
There you go.
Let's go Fortnite. Bringing the Fortnite to Destiny.
A battle pass. So I'm going to read through a couple pieces here on the top, and then we can talk about what it's going to have. So you've got basically they just say They wanted you to have predictable paths. The artifact is one. If you play up level, you're going to earn these cool mods that are going to do different things in the game, and you know exactly how to get them. Taking RNG out of some things. Well, they're taking RNG out of some other things as well of just playing. But they also know when Guardians play, as we said before, some people do it for a living. Do it 8 hours a day. Some people play 2 or 3. Some people play 2 hours a week. Some people don't have time to like lock in for a raid group. They only can pop on for here's a Crucible match. Oh, I gotta go take care of that. Oh, here's a Crucible match. I gotta go, change the kid. Whatever it is, not everybody can make the commitments for all levels of content. So they're trying to give the people who are on the, especially I think more the lower end, but also give the people on the high end another piece of progress that they can try and burn through. And try and give you at least a linear path and a actual expectation visually of what do I get when I do this.
Right.
So we've got 100 levels of this thing. Now, I am what I would call out of touch when it comes to battle passes, whether it be Apex, whether it be Fortnite.
I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat as you because I'm familiar with them.
Yeah.
I know of them, but because I am not a battle royale guy, like I'm not setting foot in those games to be regularly to break down the intricacies of like how this compares to theirs. You know what I'm saying? All I remember is logging in every build to what the goals. I think they share that. But this is interesting to see in Destiny, and this was the one that remember I told you I was like,
oh, I know. If I was like I was waiting, so.
Yeah.
Before we get into all the nitty gritty, or if you just want to bring up, like, what is your reservation, and then we'll kind of explain how things work. But like, what is just spill the beans? What's up?
All right, this is where I'm at with this. It's like I get the dilemma they have. I'm really trying to be empathetic, right? They have this tough balancing act where it's us, the hardcore. The guys who drive it, the guys who, if we leave, they're finished, right? Then you got to talk about growth, right? You got to talk about little Timmy. You got to talk about, Susie and whatever that works a full-time job. You got to work, you've got all, shout out to Market. Yeah, I caught Dado's joint. I'll talk about that. That was a good one, Market. The thing about it is, it's a tough balancing act, the hardcore and things. So we started off with the artifact, right? Part of that is we got new light and the artifact. That's how I look at it with the casual stuff. So new light, boom, you come in, you're not left behind. Yay, I'm with this, Bungie. That's cool. I'm for that, right? Then you have the artifact thing, right? Okay, hey, maybe I'm getting unlucky with RNG. Maybe I'm getting whatever, but I can still get mods just by leveling up XP and towards the quest, and I'm still getting things, and I'm feeling good about myself, even though I'm not on Pyro's raid team, Sweaty A, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, right? Cool. This one, not saying it's bad. I have to see it, but I must admit, I feel uneasy. The only reason why I feel uneasy is, okay, you got the top path, and you got the free tier, and you got premium tier, right? So just by playing, you'll get this, you get that, you'll get this, legendary thing, whatever, glimmer, suits, whatever. Okay, but if you look at the path and then look at the premium path, and under rank 25.
I know.
Do you see? Okay. So when I saw rank 25, I got a little uneasy. And
I knew this was one that was going to freak everybody out, and I'm not really concerned about it at all.
It could very well be just an exotic engram. Hey, you just get an exotic. Very well be. But we have to admit, exotic engrams, that helps towards power, that helps towards playstyle, that helps towards if that exotic is something good, you got an advantage a little bit. You know what I mean? If it's a good exotic that someone else,
or it could be another pair of Aeon souls and you just wasted your level, man.
We not going to do that. But I hear what you. Yes, you're right. Yeah, it could very well be. But for a guy, I'm thinking of a guy like myself who it took me a long time to get Geo. Every Forsaken exotic would not drop my way. I look at this and I'm like, okay, and let's be real. Since Forsaken, those drop rates have been nerfed to oblivion. Like it takes a while to get what you want. So again, this is a minor thing, but it's one of those things. It's like, even when Eververse was first introduced, we were kind of like, gotta watch you, gotta see what you're doing. Are you trying to sneak in monetizations and play to win? And thankfully they didn't, right? So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But I do. Here's my main thing. Screw the exotic, screw all that. You know what my main thing is? I don't know how I feel about the last 2 to 4 weeks of the season that you've been playing, and I could just come in here with my checkbook and say, okay, let me get all this. Let me buy rank 100. I don't know how I feel about that. I gotta be
okay. Why?
It feels weird because you've been the hardcore. You've been grinding.
I've been playing. This is just the same. This goes back to the mentality of some people like, oh, you're gonna make year one free to play. How long have I been experiencing the content?
Right.
I'm gonna play this for 8 weeks straight.
Right.
And then in the last 2 weeks, if you want to spend more money to catch up to where I'm at, more power to you.
Okay, but do you continue?
No, that's me. Like, if you want to spend money on that pass and you haven't had to, one, it gives an opportunity for some of the whales or the people who have the money to help fund Bungie and help support this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We know what this is. Let's not like act like we don't know what's going on here.
I know, but to me, it's like it doesn't bother me at all, one bit.
I feel you. I all I'm saying is, for me, it feels weird. It's not egregious. That's what I wrote. It's not egregious, and it's not power level-y all the way. But I do feel that, I'm coming in. A person could come in and just, kind of buy. They just got to be careful. They got to be careful on what's available in this thing. To me, this is how Trojan horses start. So just keep it. My thing is like, keep it cosmetic. Keep it materially. You know what I'm saying? Like, see how they got the legendary stuff, the glimmer. Okay, cool. When I say exotics, I'm like, know about that one. And that's part of what me and Dado on the same page with this. Dado's whole thing is, he's like, look, man, like, he's in the same boat I am. Like, it's not like, oh my God, they're doing something awful. This is evil. Look at this. This is pay to win. It's not that. I'm never going to say that. It's not that. We're not there. But they have to toe the line. They have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen the comments. I've seen Reddit. I've seen people on my Discord, and they'll say, yo, I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? And that, because what it is battle passes for other games a little bit more egregious with stuff like that. And maybe people are worried about that coming into Destiny. But as an independent studio, I get it. You got to have monetization sources. You got to, you're not Big Daddy Activision ain't there. You know what I mean? You got to get the bread coming out. I feel that. But they got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. They got to be. We could get slippery slope if they get crazy. I don't think they will. I'm giving them benefit of doubt, but we just got to be careful.
Okay, so I want to answer one for dramatic. He's saying it doesn't feel Destiny. You can buy cool stuff, but not power level. You're not buying power level. Your seasonal rank does not affect your power level of your artifact. If you didn't play, your power level is still never going to be that high.
Correct.
So it does not affect your level one iota.
Correct.
That is just your literal seasonal rank through this like progression of the 10 pages of Battle Pass stuff.
The key. I'm sorry. No, finish. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, the other piece is you do see one exotic in there. I bet there might be 3 in 100 levels. Okay, so here's the thing. So take your player who wants to pay for it. Take the player who's played all season. Take somebody like Glad. Going to live in this game for like months, grinding all his stuff out, getting that perfect season. He's probably going to be level 100 completely done. He's also got 7 more, and who knows? He could knock that crap out in the first week if he's bananas nuts. Right. We don't know how fast that's going to go. Probably not that quick. But say he does it in 2 weeks. He has 3 exotic drops in there. He also experiences Zur, possible Faded Engram, the exotics that come through, and anything else that comes from there, and his playtime of other drops that he's going to get. He is far beyond whatever somebody who can pay money and catch those last 3 and try and catch up. That person who, hey, I had a contract in another country for 2 months. I came back. I've got 3 weeks left of the season. There's some cool stuff in here. There's some armor sets I want to get. The Vex one, they have really cool ornaments to them. Let me work on that. And then you go through and, okay, you got 2 weeks. Well, let me get this thing. I just got done doing my contract, made some extra money. Let me drop it on the season pass. Let me burn through, see what I can. Because they said it's a boost. I don't think you're just actually like, I don't know if you buy the levels or not. I'll be curious how that works. If it's like, if you play and you're getting experience like crazy fast or what. As you progress through, then in those last couple of weeks, you've got the end of the season getting a push of more people potentially playing. And then also, those people, they've missed out on all the world drops, all the other things, haven't been around for 8 weeks of Xur. They've missed out on enough stuff that
I feel that part.
I was like, they've missed out on enough stuff that there's no way that I see an exotic every 10 levels. I don't see that. Now, and if there's and if it's like 8, 25, 50, 75, woohoo. I get random exotics every so often, and most of the time, they don't matter. If it's truly just an exotic engram, it could still easily not matter. All right, so that's me. I want to let you talk and also read. I was like, that's me, and that's why I want to read what people are saying in chat, too.
This is great discussion. And again, I think it comes down to literally what is actually going to be. I need the full extent of everything that's going to be included in the season right? So, you're making a good point. I mean, like, it could be very much like, hey, if it's exotics, you haven't played, you've been out of town that month. I mean, you know what's funny? This actually benefits a person like me. You know what I'm saying? I travel all the way. I'm doing conventions. I'm doing shows. You know what I'm saying? I go through hardcore periods of Destiny, and then I have periods where I just cannot play the game because I'm doing stuff, right? So, yeah, this literally benefits me, right? Again, because of the RNG nature of Destiny, and if it's strictly like we see in legendary shards, capes and suits, who cares? That's nothing. But if this gets into exotics or exotic weapons and stuff like that, it's a little teetery. But again, like you said, it's not affecting the power level. It's not, you're not getting, put it this way, as long as it ain't no guaranteed, like, I don't want to see Outbreak perfected.
No, it's not going to be. They will never do that.
And I assume they won't. That's all. We as a community, though, I just want to say, as a community, I would hope that they are smart enough to know that if they cannot play with this. It's the same way like Eververse. They cannot try to get sneaky. They cannot try to XP filter. Remember, that was a thing. We got to call a spade a spade. Listen, I love my Bungie, but they got caught with the pants down with the XP tuning. And now Luke got in front of it and said, no, we're not doing this. But again, we got to see. It's one of those things I have to see them prove it, that they are to be trusted with this level of, this is the new wave. Like, this is the new wave. This is what all these guys are doing. What you call it? Fortnite, all the popular games. This is the new monetization wave. And I'm not mad at Bungie for attempting to get in it. Just do it honorably. That's all we say, because I'm telling you that Bungie, if you get caught, if we find out, Reddit gonna be lit. So someone's gonna have the algorithm. I had Battlepass, and then I did before. You know how guys get. So let's just see. That's all. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm far beyond benefit of the doubt. I'm just not worried about it, and that's just me. And maybe it's just like ignorance or trusting in Bungie too much, or just basically seeing what they describe as not being something that's going to break the game. They even describe as the armor sets in here. We know armor sets are going to be a thing, but something I also talked about later. It's going to be your base level stuff. If you want the higher level stats, you got to go get it in the game. You're going to get base level. It's probably just like we're going to log in and get our Solstice armor. That's like base stat level. You're not going to get high stuff. It's going to get you started, but it's not going to be pinnacle level stuff. They're not going to give that away. So what is in the season pass? Let's break this thing down, because we know the season is going to last 12 weeks or 10. Probably was going to be 12 if it came out on the 17th, but now it's 10 because they pushed it back. So apparently they're still going to keep to their cadence. The season pass includes the following.
Let's get it.
For one, Season of Undying does come with Shadowkeep. So if you buy a Shadowkeep, not the digital deluxe or anything else, just the $35, you get Season of Undying 2, period. Somehow also, and I'm not sure how or why you would want to do this, you could technically buy Season of Undying by itself. It is truly a la carte. So you can buy the seasons as you choose, which is, they're very clear that is 100% a la carte. I don't know of anybody who would do it that way, but you can. So, that being said, what comes with Season of Undying? Outside of Shadowkeep, of course, for most of us. we're going to go season pass owners get access to a new seasonal activity, the Vex Offensive. We know that. There are 4 weapons that can come from there. There are additional weekly bounties and weekly challenges for powerful gear. Just like any other activity. Go to the Forges. It's the same thing. Go to the Reckoning. It's the same thing. Certain stuff is going to be in the seasonal activity. That's just how that works. Season pass owners do get a weapon quest. And they've done this for the previous annual pass. This isn't new. Quest for the exotic bow, Leviathan's Breath. That is the giant, heavy chain bow.
Giant shit.
Thing's a beast. But seasonal artifact. Says use bows. Guess I might. We'll see how it works.
See how we gonna have to now.
A new exotic hand cannon is available for both the premium track. You get it just by having the season pass. Now that I have an issue with, I'll get back to in a second.
Oh, we have an issue?
I never said things were perfect.
Everything was all good.
I don't care about I don't care about the whole battle pass stuff. I don't think they're going to ruin that. This is how they're handling an exotic. That's a different animal. But at level 35, you can get it for free. Somebody with new light can still earn that hand cannon. That's cool. So if they go through and level 30, they level up. They're doing strikes. They're doing patrols. They're leveling up. They get to level 35 in their season rank. And they get this hand cannon as well. You know what? That's kind of cool. Give somebody incentive who has a free game something to go for. That's pretty awesome. 3 seasonal legendary armor sets. Now, this is where they talk about my favorite quote in the entire damn thing. So they say, collect a complete set during the first 25 free ranks. So you'll get a complete set for each class during the first ranks. On the premium track, you'll get all 3 sets at rank 1. So if you buy the season pass, they're giving you some stuff up front. You get the hand cannon, you get a couple armor sets. Cool. It's just the big thing about armor, which I hope people really start to understand. It's not going to mean that much. You're going for stat rolls and you're going for how you look. But outside of those, the functionality of mods and all that stuff, that's all separate. So you're going for how you look and hopefully a decent stat roll. But the free stuff they give you, it's not going to be amazing stat roll.
Right, that is true. It's almost like the old Eververse Armory where it was like super crap kind of almost.
Yeah, level 10 crap mods. It's going to be similar. It's like what you get for free is not going to be the top, and they truly state. On the premium track, you'll get all 3 of these sets. Now, these are for the Vex offensive activity. If you want versions with higher stat tiers, and I exploded in my head when I read that, you'll need to play the Vex offensive to earn them. Finally, to add some additional premium track awards, literally all cosmetics. Ornaments, a weapon ornament, 2 more weapon ornaments, a finisher, an emote, and a ship. All cosmetics.
Facts.
So if you have that many cosmetics in there, you've got armor sets, you've got glimmer, legendary shards, looks like a couple of extra bounties.
Harmless.
100 bright dust. Whoa.
Harmless. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I just got to cut you for a second.
I know.
All I'm saying is the story of the Trojan horse. Remember the story of again. I'm not saying they're evil. I'm not.
That is quite the leap to even reference that as a Trojan horse, man. That is
this is how things start. That's all I'm trying to say. So it's
everybody said this about the Eververse too, and look where we're at.
You're right, but but we're not going to forget about the XP thing. We can't. I'm not going to let. These are my people. These are my favorite studio. But we cannot act like that didn't happen. There was a throttling. This happened. Who was responsible? If that dude get fired,
they even addressed the XP, by the way.
They got caught. If it wasn't for Reddit, says stop that with my XP. So again, they're in front of this. They're cool. It's up to us as a community to say, yo, we feel you. Just keep it fair, keep it clean, keep it cool. And we're good to go. You know what I'm saying? But trust me, E, everything you're saying is accurate. This is harmless. This is materials. This is not nothing to be super scared of. I get you. I just got my eye open.
Okay, I feel like I've got like people shaking their walking sticks at each other in chat right now. What is happening in chat?
Let's go to chat. Let's go to. Let's get to it.
Y'all are just funny. So I got a couple things about this. One, and this is what makes me hope there are more exotics in there. We know about these two. They've been showing off in trailers, and I guess they're going to tell us how we get them. But the fact that literally rank 1 of the annual pass we get that exotic hand cannon, take some of the woo out of getting an exotic hand cannon. Like, exotic weapons should mean something, and now, like, you bought the season pass. Here you go.
Yeah, here you go.
Like, I mean, it's cool to get a new gun and start the season off with, like, a nice little, here you go, but exotics don't feel like they have that weight that they should anymore, and it's kind of one of those things that it just, that one is kind of a glaring thing at me right there, and I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle. I'm like, I'm not thrilled about it. I guess the reason why I'm not going crazy yet is more so that I'm confident they're gonna have so many other exotic sources to do other things that we'll probably forget about this. It's just that as we're reading this now, it feels like this is one of the soul things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get crazy about it yet. But trust me, I'm with you in the sense that I don't necessarily know how I feel about, just.
I wish it was even like at least rank 10. I mean, 1 is just like you
one
boot
is
up
like,
the game and here you go. Like,
it's like I straight paid for that exotic.
Yeah.
It's like,
so it's like a little bit of work would have been good there, but I guess I can't win them all. So that's like that. I do kind of have a bit of an issue. I mean, they're going to give you the armor sets, which you can look how vexy you want. I mean, you're part of the season pass. You're going to look how you want to. But again, it's a base stat tier. And this is where I got happy. So
let's go.
If you want versions with higher stat tiers,
let's get it.
This was my random speculation last night when I was just word vomiting into my microphone. When you look at the Nightmare Hunt activity, previously it said powerful gear tier 1. Right. And I wondered what the hell on earth that meant.
Right.
I was like, all right, what the hell does that mean? Is that like, it's going to get you from like 750 to 850? Like, is it like a prime engram versus a, legendary that might give you 1 versus a prime giving you 6? Is this going to work on the tornado scale? Like, is tier 1 the low stuff? And if you see a tier 5, like, holy hell?
Yeah.
I don't know. But also in my head, you sit there and I was going back through some of the clips of the Armor 2.0, and you look at the helm and you're like, okay, his helm has 56 base stats.
Right.
Okay. Maybe that's tier 1, somewhere in the 50s.
Okay.
Maybe tier 2, 60s. Tier 3, 70s. Tier 3, 80s. Tier 4. Like, how high can you climb with those tiers? And somewhere towards the top, and this is what I had asked for previously when Tassie was on. I was like, I'm hoping there are variations of, like, raids are going to hopefully drop higher stat distribution points.
Gotta be.
And this is pretty much his confirmation. Like, if like the free armor you get, that's going to be your base level stats. Like, that head has 50 stats randomly thrown on there. It's probably going to be a set value anyway.
Right.
Then you go in and do the Vex Offensive on Ultra Hard. You get something, instead of having 50 stats, like, thrown across the 6 stats that we have, you have 80 points thrown across the 6 stats. And that's where, like, and I think this excites me in multiple ways. One, you actually can really, for one, like, see improvement as you get higher gear from more difficult activities. And two, it does the one thing that we've had an issue with lately, rewarding difficult activities.
Let's go. That seems to be the theme about Shadowkeep, which I'm liking. I keep seeming to hear that narrative with different things he's saying. So that's all I want. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows the follies of vanilla D2. You know what I'm saying? Those were Achilles' heels, not rewarding the powerful stuff the harder pinnacle activities the way they should be. So yeah, those should be in there. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm confident that is, the route that they're going.
So that was for me exactly what I was hoping for in the stat rolls. I was like, all right, if every head is 56 stats, this is going to be boring. Okay, this one has like 87. Damn. Like, I just got a huge upgrade, and that's going to be big.
It's going to make it exciting. It's going to make that drop, to be able to be like, okay, oh yeah, this, that's what you want. You don't want this stuff to become redundant. You don't want this stuff to become, another tier 5 or what. You know what I'm saying? Like, it start to roll your eyes and stuff. That's where loot gets exciting again. That's what we want.
Well, and that's also, like, you have the stat tiers, but then you go run that hard content, and then you're going to want to go run it again. Why? Because you may have not got the roll that you want on that armor. You may have, like, int discipline, and damn it, I need a melee and resilience build because I'm going to go be up punching stuff for whatever reason.
Right.
Maybe not everything smashes in Shadowkeep. Who knows?
That's part of the chase. That's what you want. You want that level. Same thing what we have with weapons. We've always wanted with armors, and I think we're getting close to it, man. I think this is definitely the right direction. I'm with all of this, right?
Yeah, so that for me is huge, huge, huge stuff for sure. The other thing they talk about, and we kind of briefly touched on it, it's 10 weeks. When you get to the end, last 2 to 4 weeks, and this is where they're just going to see how the season goes. What is the? You don't even have like a beard to twirl. It's like imaginary beard twirling.
Shout out to the old men in the chair.
Sorry to the people who listen to this on audio, by the way. Cognito's over there like twirling his finger by his chin, but there's nothing on his chin.
Us older gentlemen, we've been around the block. We just, like I said, we just got our eye open. We're just like, okay.
I'm not young, dude. I'm not that far behind you.
Let me flex my old card, all right? Let me flex it. You stay young right now.
Just don't break something if you flex too hard.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just one of those things we got to watch. One thing that I like what they are saying is that they're implying that this is a fluid situation based on community response and how it's received.
Yeah,
so I like that
data. Yeah, they're gonna know.
I like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard and fast. It's we're gonna around week 2 to week 4, around that kind of thing, and then we'll see, and then we'll kind of play around with it based on what you got to say. I like that part. You know what I'm saying? So let's just see. I gotta again. I could be making a big cry about nothing. And like you said, this could literally be legendary shards, BS stuff that doesn't affect anything. You know what I'm saying? And allows a guy as in play to say, hey, I can get some rewards and stuff like that. But the only skeptical part of me is if they're doing a battle pass, right? You have to make this is the reason why people like us sometimes get skeptical. You look at the monetization model. You look at, Fortnite, stuff like that. The reality is, let's be real, they're a business. They want people to jump into this battle pass. If it's up to Bungie, right? If you put a gun to their head and there's no guys around, and you say, yo, what do you want out of this? You want people to subscribe. You want the most money, right? So if you want the most money, then you have to make this thing attractive, right? You have to make this thing like, oh, man, yo, you know what I'm saying? And that's all we're concerned. We just want to say, how attractive are you going to make it? Is it like something cool? Could be like, remember how they did the glows for the solstice, the chroma, right? You throw the chromas in, okay, cool, cosmetic. You ain't affected nothing. You want to look cool, boom. But again, I know it's just a random exotic to you, but it's exotic, man. Drop rates ain't, you know what I'm saying? So if I could just, pull out the ATM and just be like, I get it.
See, but that's the thing. You're not going to be able to do that till the end anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to wait. True. You got to wait 8 weeks before that's even on the table. 7, 8. Like you go, hey, I've been at this season for like 7, 8 months. Hey, you want this stuff? Your friend over here who's not currently playing the game and they want to pick up the season, be like, there's actually some cool stuff in here. If you spend like $10 extra, you can kind of catch up to me. You want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'll see you in here. Come on, catch up. But guess what? Their power level's not going to catch up. Yeah, they got a couple extra exotic drops. Maybe they get chances at some of the newer things, but they're not going to get all of it the way RNG goes. We know that. And it's a way for them to, it gives flexibility, and I don't think they're going to step too far. As you said, we got to watch and see. When everybody logs in, everybody's going to click on seasons, click through all 10 pages and see what's there. Here's your season pass stuff that you can earn. That's going to be the first thing that pops probably. Nothing else. That is going to be, go to the director, click the seasons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 screenshots, post it all up. Here's everything you can get. Okay, there's like 3 exotics. Hey, there's 10. That's a lot. We'll see. Don't know. Honestly, I really don't.
We got it. We got to just see it. But I think we're in agreement. I think we're definitely in agreement.
And then when it comes to the pass, they're not trying to kill us. They're like, did Bungie just raise the EXP needed to rank for some ridiculous level so players have to buy ranks at the end of the season? The answer to that question is no, in big, giant, bold letters. For example, in our internal team test, playing strikes in a fairly relaxed manner, 18 minutes per strike. That's slow, by the way, because you can do them in about 10.
You can do them 20. They're being very conservative.
With a full stack of bounties, so you get your 5 bounties, that's a rank in an hour.
Yes.
That's not that hard. If you play for a few hours, you do bounties, you do things, if they weight all the activities right, like if a raid is worth a decent chunk of experience, as long as all that stuff's right, seems like they're trying. But they also said if they get like halfway through the season and people are at like rank 30, well, we messed up. And they have the ability to be on the fly and adjust that. So they're going to have the outliers of streamers up here. Then they're going to have like the casual hardcores somewhere in here. Then there's like you and me slightly above. Then there's the people who play on the weekends. Then there's like the kid whose parents say you can play on Saturday for 2 hours and that's it. Somewhere in this spectrum is all of those people. And they're going to try and put it somewhere in that range. So not every low person is going to get there. The high people are probably going to finish it early. And the average people probably will finish it in the season. Is their goal, it sounds like. Whether they nail it, we will have no idea until we start playing it. But the average person, hopefully, should be okay on this front.
Chelsea?
In case there's not enough to talk about, we also have New Light.
Yeah.
Now, if you are going to play Destiny 2 for free, man, you got hooked up.
Yo, they getting hooked. They getting hooked. I was like, I didn't expect all this. I'm like, yo, they are getting very nice, borderline red carpet treatment. Could pretty much do a lot of things. A lot of things. See this list?
Yeah.
It's a nice list.
Take it. I've been talking.
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much, attention, all Destiny 2 players are coming in with New Light. And it basically is going to be all in on Shadowkeep Season Undying. Will have access to the following. So for $0, you're going to get to patrol the moon destination. So you got to actually get to go. The opening mission of Shadowkeep.
Yep.
Wow. Didn't think that was happening. 2 new strikes. Normally strikes would be omitted. Crucible updates that I expected. 2 returning PvP maps from the D1 era, Widow's Court and Twilight Gap. I'm going to say that is also new because I believe in the past they wouldn't get new maps. They'd be kind of on the old stuff.
Yeah, they've been kind of on the point where everybody has like all the stuff at this point. So
yeah, okay. Elimination in Crucible Labs.
That's
Armor
cool.
2. Yep, that's cool. Armor 2.0, cool. Eye of the Gate Lord seasonal artifact, so they get the artifact. New finishers. They're getting the finishers. 2 new pinnacle weapons. 1 for Gambit, 1 for Crucible. Do you think there's going to be 1 for Vanguard?
Doesn't sound like it.
Doesn't sound like it. All right. Free seasonal rank rewards, which include the new exotic weapon, Ariana's Vow. 3 legendary armor sets, 1 per class. 2 legendary weapons. Best of Year 2 Bright Engrams and Glimmer and Upgrade modules. So yeah, legendary armor. It says weapons that come from the free seasonal ranks are a little sample platter, or like sample platters for the season pass. If you want to find the best stats for the rolls for the armor, you will need to play the seasonal activity and get the drops. But players who just want to collect all the armor can earn the base version from the free track. I see you pumping your fist. This one, you like that one. You're about that. So Ariana's Vow, the new exotic on our seasonal track, also drops on the free track. But if you get it, you get it earlier if you have the season pass. They've also added a lot of rewards in the free track that are nice quality of life rewards for players, like upgrade modules, which are free in Fusion. Again, now this sounds wholesome. I could bring that home to mom. See, I could bring that home to mom and everything is okay. She's like, okay, this person's not deceptive. Again, just follow through, keep it here, and we should be okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay. So where you at, man?
If you somehow haven't played Destiny, took a break from it, played the first season, had the weapon system burn you a little bit, the way you get to try this for free is great. Now, New Light players are probably, if they had played before, they are going to go play what they played again. But for people who are like, yeah, Destiny, really? Okay, it's free? What do I get?
Free
You can
99.
You can play all the strikes. All of them. Now, I don't know if they're going to be doing Nightfalls or not, but probably. They can check out Elimination and be like, well, this is something they're working on. That's cool. All the Crucible maps. Gambit and Gambit Prime both are in there because they said that in a previous interview. When we talked to Pino, I thought it was just one.
Yeah.
And then, like you're just getting them both.
Yeah.
So they get to see both sides of that. They get the Gate Lord. They get their power level boost if they want to work on that. So they can still work on leveling up. They get the finishers, which is part of it. And then on top of that, like, hey, well, I'm a free person. What do I grind for? How about any of the pinnacle weapons that you want to go for from your basic vendors? If you want to go grind out Recluse, you want to get ready for PvE, and this is still a free grind, you can do that.
You can do that. Yeah, they get a lot. They get a lot. And I'm going to tell you right now, besides cross save, this is going to be tremendous. I know people, tons of people on my Twitter followers that are like, yo, hate Destiny. Or when you start saying hate is a strong word, always like saying sly remarks. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're playing that game again, that damn game, whatever. Oh, I uninstalled Destiny. I'm never going back to it. I have at least 10 people who have saw this new light, have saw Shadowkeep, have saw cross save, but specifically new light, that is like, yo, I am in with you on day one, showing me the pictures of them installing it. Like this is a huge deal. The population increase is going to be crazy. And then it's like, now this is smart business, right? Get them in the door. You're giving them still a lot of things to access, a lot of stuff to do. Then you give them that sample platter. First mission is Shadowkeep. Go on there. Go ahead. Go see. Go try it out. Go by the buffet. Go see. You like that? You like that? Well, here's the rest of it. People go a cop. There's gonna be people that's like, yo, I'm having way too much fun. All right, how much is all right? All right, you know what? Here's 30. Let me get the season. You know what I'm saying? People gonna do it. This is how they're gonna get people in. And I think my guy, I know we talked about this with Tassie. We don't think it's gonna be an every season thing that they do this, right? With the Dogs Islands is the Wolves.
No, I have a weird reflection behind me. You can see that little.
Yeah, I see it. Oh yeah, I see it. That's weird. That is weird. You got the light coming through, but that's that new light shining through. See, and on the third day, the light. Anyway.
And on the third day, the light shined, and the new light guardians walked into the tower for the first time to gaze their eyes upon Shax and Ikora.
That's it. Right
Zavala's
there,
over there in the corner, and he's going to stay there until he gets his act together.
That was Osiris's light shining through the young one.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, man, like all jokes aside, yeah, it is going to be tremendous, and people are going to eat this up. They're going to want to stay in that ecosystem. They're going to be having fun. It is a big deal. This literally throw engagement numbers through the roof. This is why it's slow-mo in that one tease. I want to start trouble.
The roof
Exactly.
The roof is on fire.
On fire. Listen, this is why they weren't scared. This is why initially they didn't budge. And I know they saying they're delaying it, whatever. But when you got cross save and you got new light, man, you talk about a shot in the arm to your player base. Tremendous.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff, man.
And we forgetting a la carte. Could you imagine? Let's say it mimics how this past season annual pass structure was, right? Even though we know it's 4, right? It's not going to be 3.
Well,
it's going to be 4.
If you get Shadowkeep, you get 1. So you got 3 more.
Right.
Yes, 4 seasons because it's separate. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I know Vagabond. But the whole thing is, it's like, could you imagine? You're like, yo, I heard about Drifter. I don't necessarily want to get down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing game. Right? You ain't got to buy it. You don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
Like you literally could be like, I just want to do Opulence and I just want to do Forge or I just want to do Opulence. And it's a la carte, bro. Like that's crazy.
Or Cyberpunk came out in March. I'm going to play that for 3 months. Okay, Season of Opulence came back. I'll do that for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your piecemeal. Or if you... Yeah. And that's the thing, too, is like you got to think about, if you do Shadowkeep, there's 3 more beyond that you'll be able to buy. Mm-hmm. That would be 30. Mm-hmm. If you want to skip one of those, well, that'd be 20. Or if you buy them all for 25, really you're getting 1 for half off. So, I mean, in the grand scheme, still 10. If you want to skip and just do $10 later, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Shout out to Wally. He said he plays Cyberpunk. Yeah, I'm on that Cyberpunk train too, man. On that
Cyberpunk is going to be crazy.
Oh, that's the one I'm waiting for big time.
I don't know how we're ever going to have enough time to play all these games anymore.
I know.
September is a prime example how we do not have enough. We are overloaded with like entertainment options between 14, like so many movies, all the TV shows you don't have time to watch, and then huge, deep 100-hour games, multiple of them coming out in the same month. You gotta. It's really hard to be like an entertainment creator because you gotta try and keep your audience, and it's not easy. But little influxes of this, or if a season's not it's not the best season, that next one comes back, bam, come back in, get that $10.
Yep.
So, I mean, he dropped a lot, which is crazy. They're out at PAX right now doing their thing, which is cool. We were waiting to hear about the PvP stuff-ish. I don't know if that's going to get dropped in a different way. Maybe there's a reveal at PAX that happens. I don't know when PAX actually goes on. Is it just over the weekend, basically?
Yeah, it's kind of like a weekend event. You get like 4 days. Yeah. So like basically it usually runs like Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, so I thought we had something about like a Crucible thing, and then I think that must just be about like we're getting Crucible Labs, we're getting Elimination. I think it's more just maybe official confirmation of all that stuff. I don't know if it's called Life Management. Thanks, Vagabondo, for the wise words there.
He's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I read through all this and I was like, bring it on. Seriously.
Yeah, this is serious, man. Serious stuff. Serious stuff. And we've got we kind of glanced over Widow's Court and Twilight Gap, man.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. Give me some more D1 maps.
Dude, that's feels right there. Those maps are feels.
No, Widow's Title pull you out a scout rifle. And a sniper too, but Widow's Court's got range and lanes and Widow's was fun. I always like that one. I'm not the best sniper, but when you do hit your snipes, it feels good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I was playing with that beast mode guy in comp, but there was like one match. He's like, "Dude, those snipes you got that last match were like they clutched up." I was like, "Yes, I did something. Yes,
I contributed.
I contributed." That's, honestly, and that's one of those things that it's a weird thing to describe, but when you play with people above your level, it takes you up.
Bro, you learn, you see strategies, you watch, and you're just like, oh, okay. It only helps and improve your game big time. I got to get down with this, man. I got to get down with getting y'all backpack. Get part of this action.
I'm not that good. I got to be around the right people. I have matches. I've been doing like, I am on this like roller coaster of getting my butt whooped and crushing somebody else. Like it is all over the place. Gambit's the same way. 100 to 0, 0 to 100, smoked on both matches, mop the floor with them. It is so all over the place sometimes. I do wonder about how the matchmaking goes. But
I will say this. Ever since your boy got Truth, it's not even fair with Gambit right now. Gambit is, listen, I am not that good at Gambit. I got Truth. I'm in there invading like I know what I'm doing. I'm in there acting, and it is so aggressive, bro. Oh my!
Have you seen people like look at the person, pull hard off to the side, and fire so it has a big arc to get to them? It's just stupid.
It's crazy, man.
So much fun.
But it is. Got my delirium, so I'm finally happy.
Nice. Yeah, I got to finish up some bounties for Redrix. I should get that over the weekend, and then after that, I'm kind of hands-off-ish outside of what we got to knock out. But I mean,
take a break.
There's not a lot that's like, I really need to do this. I don't need Valor. I don't need Glory. I don't need Iron Banner. No. I got my Swarm by pure random luck. But also, it's a time for a lot of people, if you did just grind out on Solstice and you're like, I have played so much. I'm like, I'm bloodshot. Like,
Solstice will break you. Solstice, you need a vacation. Like I said, the only reason why I just got caught up with a whole bunch of things being close to completion. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just get it done. Because I was literally at the Souls. I was like, but I was like, damn, you know what? I'm this close. Let me just knock these things out. And I'm just in this mode to hurry up and finish it. And then like do exactly what you're doing. Use this precious downtime before Shadowkeep to take care of other games and other things and see what's going on. We know what's going to happen when Shadowkeep drops. Life ends. Your other games stop. So that's what's going to happen, man.
Well, I'm trying to set things up where I might actually be off for a few days around Shadowkeep for a change. Nice. So just set it up to park my butt right here. So if you guys are on Twitch, want to throw those follows up, you guys will know where to find us for Shadowkeep. But yeah, we're going to be trying to get some guests on. Some of the guests that we are working on trying to get on, we will potentially be shifting the time of the podcast more to an evening. For one, let this man get some sleep so he's not a zombie. He powers through like no other. But I know by the time you are done, you like probably fall asleep on the way down to the pillow.
Yeah. Now you keep my energy levels up, face. I'm like, yes, thanks, E. Thanks, E.
I try. Do my best.
Keep it going, brother. Help the vampire out. Because then I get in my rants and I'm like, all right, I'm awake now.
So yeah, it's like the one elephant in the room is Borderlands 3. How long of a tail do you think that's gonna have?
Till October 1st. I'm just being real. I mean, it's great. It's a great game. I'm glad, Shadowkeep got delayed, bro. I'm glad because we get to appreciate And here's the other thing, like Gears next week, I'm hearing phenomenal things. And the PC port is spectacular. You're gonna have to get down. Man.
I've never played a Gears. Yep. That's a bullet hole in my gaming resume.
Game Pass, bro. Game Pass Ultimate, you're in for free. What was it, $5 or something?
Free.
And then download kind of sort of free. But yeah, man, grab that bad boy. Let's PC it up. And it's got cross play.
Remnant.
Oh yeah, you got Remnant.
Control.
Yeah.
And if I actually manage to play both of those, I got two other people that really want me to play Borderlands for at least a couple weeks.
And Borderlands, we still got
17th.
time for Borderlands. Yes. Yeah, but
so
if you're doing Remnant,
2.5 weeks. Remnant, and if I can get through Remnant a couple times, feel pretty good. Control, I heard, might be like 10, 12 hours, so just weird, cool story, though. So if I can do both of those and then Borderlands, that's more than I've played most years. So
I'm mad that Control is doing that well because I was hoping it would be average because I'm like, I made the tough choice. I was like, it's either that or Astral Chain. Not buy both of these games. You're not going to play these games, both of them with the same level. You got the pick. So, let me go Astral Train, Switch, whatever. So when I'm seeing these reviews for Control, I'm like, oh my, this game is ridiculous too. So it's crazy. What a time for games. Insane.
Yeah, this is August and oh my God. Yeah, this is August and it already started. September is worse. So much worse.
Ridiculous.
But today has been awesome, guys. Thank you very much. We are wrapping up August. We are next to a month away from Shadowkeep. We've got a lot of information. I don't know how much more we're really going to get because I feel like we've got a lot, actually.
We've got a lot. Yeah, we've got a lot.
Well, thank you for coming in. Levlo Hair?
Man.
Oh, Levlo Hair? Yeah. I'm probably butchering that one.
Yeah, he's the man. He's
a couple new faces in here. We saw Spidey. We got Mark here back. Saw you in chat the other day. Thank you guys all for coming in. Chat was great. The Ninja and the Cheetah appreciate it greatly.
You already know. Even the cops appreciate it.
Even the cops are like, let's hit that siren for that podcast. Gotta get it once. Gotta get it once.
The streak continues.
Spidey sense. I like that.
First time seeing us live. Wow, thank you. I'm gonna get the spot fixed. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, thank you guys very much. If you want to wrap up, tell them where you at, what you got going on this weekend, and then I'm gonna go find somebody else for us to raid. So you guys hang tight. We'll get more things to talk about. Oh, I'll just send you guys over to Say No to Rage.
No doubt, man. Lono. Yeah, man. You already know it. Lord Cognito, the game. You can catch me on Twitter at Lord Cognito. Please catch our website, lordsofgaming.net. Your boys got that fresh new article right now about the season pass, kind of stuff that we discussed and stuff that I reiterated here, as far as what's going on. So please check that out. And of course, Iron Lord Podcast. Every Sunday is the Lord's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern on the Iron Lord Podcast YouTube channel. We will have The Mooch returns from his hiatus. He was with us last year. Great show. He will be back on. We'll be discussing everything that's going on in the gaming industry. We talk Control. We'll be talking Gears. We'll be talking a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot of great games. Astral Train, we'll probably talk about that. So whatever platform you rock, whether it be, PC or whether it be PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, come check us out. We talk gaming, have some fun, and definitely somebody's knees will be bent in the realm for the bet. So check us out, man. But yeah, and of course, every Friday, you already know, is the last word. And like he said, we've got some guests cooking up. We might make some schedule changes to accommodate. We will let you guys know if that happens and when it happens ahead of time. But we appreciate the support. It's good to see this thing grow. And yeah, man. And also he's got the audio going. You got the anchor popping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you guys, thank you all for the listens, by the way. That just keeps growing every week over week. You guys are awesome. So thank you guys. Just random stat to throw out there, and thank you guys. So far, since this thing's been up on audio, 3,600 plays of all of our podcasts so far. Thank you guys. That's freaking awesome, and it keeps going.
So guys, man, and also thanks to the I want to shout out, the Twitter presence. I've been seeing a lot of positive comments for us. Really appreciate it, man. Seriously, thank you guys for really shouting us out and wishing that we get on stuff. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, this is really cool, man. Thank you guys for that. And we're just trying to grow this thing, and we appreciate those retweets and support of Last Word.
Yeah, and for me, like, I'm going to be putting out a couple of the videos. Talked about most of my thoughts, but I'll just kind of break down my thoughts of what I recorded yesterday, most of it. Just about the rest of this. So about the artifact, my deep dives and thoughts, seasonal ranks, and I'll kind of have my speculation as everybody is in a tizzy about it. And all those pieces. So we've got a lot to look forward to. Thank you guys. Yep, Last Word Pod on Twitter. That's the podcast Twitter, but also, of course, Iron Lord's podcast. Follow this man, Lord Cognito, as well. I'm Ebontis everywhere. If you guys are here, you know where to find me. The YouTube channels for both of us. Thank you guys for everything. And it's Zerday as well, so you guys know I'll get that video up in about an hour and 43 minutes, plus the time it takes me to make it. And other than that, thank you guys very much. This has been episode 71. I just keep seeing that number climb, and thank you guys. It's been really cool. It's been going this long. So thank you all for the support. And for episode 71, August 30th, it has been The Last Word.